Hey, welcome to Beyond Film School, where I tell you all about the film industry. And I'm Amber. Thank you for joining me today. Happy Sunday. I am a few minutes late, but I had a very, very long night. I set my alarm, slept right through it, woke up like a half an hour ago, unfortunately. But I'm happy to be here with everyone. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you are joining me in the comments because it's early on Sunday. I feel like it's super early, but it's like 1. It's 1 p.m. But today we're going to be talking about stress on set and managing your stress levels. Let's get this started. Speaking of stress, speaking of stress, I guess like the current job that I'm on isn't that stressful, thankfully. The only thing that makes it like one stressor is just the long hours, I think is the major one. That's definitely the major one. But I'm going to break this down. Like stressors that are in your control, out of your control, and what you can do to not like avoid or, because you can't really avoid stress because things are just going to come your way and it's going to happen. It's kind of like, and managing, I really do need that. Manage your stress. Manage that shit. So, why is filming stressful? Why is it stressful? There's a ton of moving parts. There's a lot of different personalities. There, Rotbird. Hi. Yes, early morning. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much. I definitely got my coffee for sure, and I have tea. I have tea, and I have water. I'm like ready for this. Ready for this. So, some of the things that make filming stressful is that there are just a lot of personalities that you have to deal with that are like truly themselves. Some people are faking it. Some people are trying to manipulate you. Some people are like, if you're new to the business, some people are hazing you, pranking you, like shit like that. It's like a giant high school. That's what a film set is. It's a giant high school. Also, if you have any questions during this live stream, during the topic of stress, I am happy to take your questions as always. And the big one for me is that like filming is stressful because it's a lot of hours. People are tired. People are impatient because they're tired. But let's talk about some of the elements that are like your everyday stress, like the things that are in your everyday, whether you're on film sets or not. These are gonna be the factors: your diet, what you're eating, your hydration levels. I'm sorry, we gotta talk about H2O here because people who do not drink enough water, their systems are not 100%. They're not working, so you have to think about like dehydration is a major factor on why people are stressed out. And how you feel about the job. How do you feel about the job that you took? Now, last week in my live stream, I talked about taking, or was that last week? Yeah, taking gigs and like not taking gigs and like, feeling forced that you might have to take a gig or not, right? Now, I know that people are hungry in this business. People are hungry. They're gonna take every job that they can. And I understand that people gotta pay rent. I get it. But when you take a job just for the money and it's a position you don't really want, that adds a bit of, you know, I would say emotional stress because you're like, yes, I got this job, but I don't really like it. I'm doing stuff all day I don't really care about. It's kind of like you're a set PA, but you really want to be in the camera department. You have an end goal, you're not really there. But I mean, also, if it's not leading to something, if you took a job and you may not know how it's going to lead to your ideal job or your ideal position, you kind of feel like you're stuck, you don't know where to go. That is a major thing as well. If you don't like the job you're doing, this is a huge, huge factor in your everyday stress. Like, another factor to this, which ties into all the things I'm going to talk about, is not feeling like yourself. If you are not your authentic self, if you are not being who you really want to be, like that is like a recipe for disaster with like internally for you, because it's like you feel like you're kind of like a shell of a person. You're not really, you're not who you are. And when people are not who they are, they do not feel like they're living a satisfied, fulfilled life. I know that for a fact. It is just like, that is, no matter what field you're working in, no matter where you are, whatever, that is, a major thing. If you're not yourself, hey, Andrew, thanks for joining. Good evening. Oh yeah, you're Andrew, where are you from? Remind me. Thank you for joining my live stream again. Made it this week. Oh yes, you missed last week. That's right. Stress management is a key to a happy life. I'm a little stressed while waiting to hear back from the training programs I applied for. Oh god, the anxiety of like waiting for an answer. I mean, I totally get that. That's good. So they're gonna make you wait 2 weeks, man. Oh my gosh. So, well, either way, I hope it works out in your favor. So, Andrew, I hope whatever training program you're going to, I think you told me about this in another live stream, of what a training program was gonna be. But yeah, I'm hoping the best for you. Yes, UK, right? So, what time is it there? Like 7 p.m. over in the UK, Andrew? I'm not sure. I think it's 6-hour difference from New York to London. Sorry if y'all are trying to like read my cup. I got this as a gift from an AD I worked with on The Equalizer. It was a Christmas gift. It fit me perfectly. So yeah, getting back to being yourself. If you're not yourself, if you feel like you gotta fake it, if maybe you're not doing, you're not doing the things that really, okay, so 6:15, okay, 6:15, okay, so 5-hour difference, okay, not bad. If you feel like you're not yourself, this is a major factor on like your stress levels for sure. And on top of that, going into that, if you are not yourself on set, working all those hours on set, and you're not yourself, that is like, people might feel like imposter syndromes. Hi, Rachel, thanks for joining me today. Thank you so much. I love when people say they love my videos. I don't know what to say. I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. I'm just happy that I am making videos that people love. Okay, basic question. Okay, I'll take a basic question. Okay, I've got a basic question. First day on a set, where do you go? Who do you talk to figure out what you should be doing? Okay, so that depends on your position, actually. Rachel. So if you are an additional PA, the person that hired you most likely is going to be your key production assistant. And your key production assistant is going to be the person that is going to tell you where you should go. And you should be like, hey, so-and-so, what am I doing? But most likely it's going to be going to either the AD office or the honey wagon for your walkie, because we got to get you on the walkie so we can communicate with you and then go from there. Just shoot them. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, where do you want me to go? Because sometimes they want you to go to base camp. Sometimes they want you to go to set. So you just gotta ask. And no, don't be afraid to ask, because there are fucking so many places that you can go. Hey, Angelica. Oh my god, Philippines. You're joining me from the Philippines. Yes, this is amazing. Yeah, tell me where you're from in the comments. I love this. That like people are joining me from all over the place. Definitely made me aware of some of the movie set productions, especially when they're not many people show each. Yeah, you know what? Recently I've been getting a lot of comments about my channel being like the only channel that's really talking about stuff, and I'm like, there are some others out there. I encourage you to research more channels, but like keep watching mine. But yes, I'm so happy to have this channel that like brings you the information needed and the inside. I feel like I give people the inside scoop to what's happening in the film industry. All right, so getting back to everyday elements that are going to stress you out. Doing the things you love. And when you're not doing that, Angelica, you are joining me at 2 in the morning. This is amazing. It is 1:17 in New York right now. 1:17, and she is joining me at 2 in the morning. Like, that is amazing. Yeah, San Francisco in the house. Yes. Oh my god, we got the West Coast. We got California and New York. We're just doing it. This is amazing. I love it. Okay, I want to check to see if my chat is actually working. It's working! I finally got it. I cracked the code. I am so excited that I actually got the chat to show up in my OBS. Sorry, this is a big moment for me. If I had like a little board, a little switcher, I'd be like hitting that button with like major cheers. So I'm just very happy that I got the chat to work. This is amazing. So, okay. So when you are not doing things that you love, now it could be these are like your hobbies, right? So for me, a couple of my hobbies, let's see, like beyond film school, is a business, but also a hobby of mine because I mean, I'm not making like millions of dollars. It's not like my main source of income. Although, like, I've set a lot of goals for myself this year, and I want to make sure that I have this is a perfect example actually, like me going to, I was on set yesterday. We went really late, and I set a goal for myself. I was like, I need to make a video every week. I need to make a live stream every week. And I Sundays at 1, that is what I want to do. That is like the time I've set for myself. I made that goal. Now, I will tell you one thing. If I do not reach those goals and make my video every week and do my live stream every week, I'm going to be a very unhappy person. There's like, because I saw some of my friends last night. They were like, yeah, but like, what's 1 week? I'm like, no, I set a goal. I have to do it this year. 2022, I have a goal to do these things for Beyond Film School, so I must do them. And there is nothing that is going to happen on set that is going to prevent me from reaching those goals unless I'm in the hospital or something. But what I will say, full disclosure, next week I will not be doing a live stream. Womp womp womp, unfortunately, because I'm doing my Set PA class. So I'm going to be doing other Beyond Film School things. So I'm sorry that we won't be live streaming next week. I probably will do it like maybe later in the night or probably a different day, but I'm still going to be doing a live stream one way or the other next week, just not at this time because I'll be doing my Set PA class. I'm so excited. It is sold out. Once again, selling out my Set PA class in New York in person. 2 days, February 19th to 20th. I am so excited to meet my new batch of trainees. And also, I'm excited to get them jobs because I'm always, people are asking me for recommendations, and I just can't wait for the next group of, like, killer trainees that I got. All right, so if I didn't reach those goals and I wasn't, like, doing my hobby that is Beyond Film School, I'd be, like, so unhappy. And I found myself last year when I was in Atlanta, when I took that, that job down in Atlanta, and when I was like taking all these travel jobs, it was crazy. Like I was all over the place in like Connecticut, Newburgh, and like there's just a lot of stuff going on. And since I was in Atlanta, I didn't have any of my stuff with me to edit or, really, I didn't really have the mental capacity to like think of topics, write videos, because I probably could have written like hella videos, but I didn't because I was overworked. I was doing 6-day weeks. We were doing 14, 15-hour days. And I just was absorbed into, like, I was totally, like, encompassed by the movie that I was working on. And you don't want to find yourself in that situation, but you will. You don't want to find yourself in that situation, but you definitely will. And it's going to happen. And it happened to me, and I didn't post, as you guys probably know if you watch my videos. If you are like waiting for a video from me, you're like, this bitch hasn't posted in 6 months, 7 months, what is going on? And I was trying to like, when I got back like home, and I wasn't in Connecticut anymore, and when November struck, and I was like, okay, I'm finally here, I can, I don't really have any time to kind of write, shoot, and edit. I was trying to live stream more and, connect more with my, my subscribers, which I want to do, because it's like, when you're like a YouTuber, I'm trying to build a community for everyone to kind of like come together and like, commiserate, relate, I want you to know that I'm in your corner in this, and this is what this is all about for me. So I wasn't doing one of my major hobbies, and I was just like, I kind of felt like this is not where I want to be. So I kind of was like, 2022, doing it. I have time off. I'm going to start the year off great, strong. This is the goal that I have. I'm going to do it. And that's important. You have to really, really focus. And it's hard because you have to have discipline. You have to have that discipline. And I'm telling you, when you're working 14-hour days and then you're like, okay, well, I have to XYZ, I want to do this, but I also want rest. It's like, you have to find some time to, do your hobbies, do the things that you love. Like, okay, Beyond Film School was an example, but people look at that as work, but like, I love it. So for me, I enjoy it. Like right now, I could have definitely slept in. I could be like, F this live stream. And I could have slept in. But like, I know when I do this live stream, I highly enjoy it. I love talking to everybody. I love answering questions. I love bringing you the knowledge, the inside to the film industry. And, if I would have slept in, I would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did that. I let people down. I got a little lazy, just not feeling it. So not doing the things you love is a major everyday factor. And we're going to get into like some of the other things that you can do to kind of, make sure you do the things that you love. Another thing, and people hate this because like, I swear in every, maybe like all the problems that you might have with your body, any ailments or whatever, like, oh, how do you prevent weight gain? How do you prevent diabetes? And I'm like, well, how do you prevent stress? And people are like, diet and exercise. I am old enough to tell you that this is a fact. Diet and exercise are a thing that you need to focus on. You cannot just let your body just run on like autopilot and not think about what you're putting into your body and what you're making your body do. Exercise, if you are not doing enough of it when you are working on set, then that is going to be a thing, okay? I mean, that's just like if you're working in any industry, if you are working at a desk job, if you're working at like customer service, you're a server, you're a barista, you're on your feet all day, like you need to think about your physical well-being, and exercise is definitely a part of this. So yes, exercise. Now, I want to get into some of the film specific type of stressors. We just went over like everyday stressors that are like every person's going to have those types of stress or those types of stresses. Like, so film stressors are a little bit different. These are directly related to things that you will encounter on set that will stress you the out. So one of them is your commute. And that's a big one for me. And that was the first thing that came up when I'm like brainstorming this live stream is like, my commute is a big deal, but I also know that I chose to live where I live. Everyone has chose to live where they live, but I also don't want to live in the boroughs. I'm sorry for my New York City folks who might be watching this or probably not. I don't have a lot of people from New York watching this live stream. I have a lot of people from New York watch my videos, but not my live stream, which is kind of weird. My analytics like weirdly tells me all these like fun facts about who my viewers are. But like my commute, since I live in New Jersey, if I take a job in Brooklyn or Long Island. Now, I don't know if you guys know the geography that is the New York, metro area. I live about 10, 12, 13 miles from Brooklyn. Not that far. If you're thinking like, oh, that's nothing. But like when you think about the rush hour traffic, morning traffic, people want to kill themselves. People are like, oh my God, I have to, if I have a 8 a.m., 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. call, man, that commute is tough. That is, I'm in the car for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It depends. It really depends. But what the pandemic did do for me, which the pandemic sucks. Let me just start by saying the pandemic fucking sucks. Okay, we all know it fucking sucks, but it did do me a few favors, and I have to say that like I grew for Beyond Film School a lot during the pandemic, which I love, but also what the pandemic did for me is it like lessened the traffic that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Driving during the pandemic to set, like when we were like in the thick of it the first year, driving into the city when I had work was cake. It was cake. I had like half-hour commute, 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I was like, yes, this is not enough. I'm not ready yet. Like sometimes I like to use my commute as a way to like get ready for the day and like, zone out, listen to a podcast, listen to my music, drink my coffee, whatever. And like, I wasn't having enough time sometimes that the commute was so fast. So your commute to wherever the location is, because you're not gonna be shooting at the stage every day. You're gonna be at like crazy locations, like an hour south, an hour like north of you. Then you gotta like, so for some people who gotta hop in a van, they gotta meet a van at like 96 in Broadway to go up to like White Plains, New York, which is like a 45-minute drive. So like you've left your house to get to the pickup point, which is like maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, and then you gotta like sit in a van for another 45 to an hour. So your commute is a major thing. And then you get to set, you're like, I've been up for like 4 or 5 hours already and I haven't even started my day. So the commute is a huge, huge thing. Now, since I am a driver and I own a car and I drive my car, the other type of film stressor is parking. Now, let me get a sip of my tea because now I need my green tea to like restore, like, I don't know. I feel like green tea is like the green tea and ginger. I swear by those two things. If you drink and you eat ginger or drink ginger every day and green tea, I swear to God, it's like you'll never get sick. I am not a doctor. Do not take any of this as medical advice, but what I'm telling you is that, like, green tea and ginger make the world go round, I'm telling you. If you want to know my little secret, I drink ginger shots every day, and I drink like lots of ginger shots. I drink lots of ginger tea. It's like, I'm telling you, cure all, anything. So parking is the other factor to this, and it's expensive to park where I live. Sometimes I might be in a location where they have crew parking, which is great. They have a lot for us. I can just show up, park my car, great, got it, right? But sometimes they don't. If they're shooting at the stage, it's in the middle of the goddamn city and I can't find parking. So I gotta, like, you know, get up a little bit extra early. I gotta leave my house, you know, wait, like, I gotta think about parking. But then also I gotta pay for parking. That's another factor. Paying for parking is also another thing. So extra money, extra time. And here's the thing. And I go by this rule because I don't know where originally from, but a director I used to work with, and I love her. I still communicate with her. I haven't worked with her in a while, but Alana Rafferty, I love her. She is like an indie director. She's an actress. She's a producer. She's amazing. I swear to God, like, she has a podcast right now. It's called Girls Press Play. She does like, not to like plug her podcast, but like, she is amazing. She's like doing such good things, but it's called Girls Press Play. And what she does, she takes like a movie and the original and the remake, and she like reviews it. She's so good at it. I'm thoroughly impressed. But anyways, when I worked with her on her second project, 'cause she always hires me as a first, she told me, she's like, you know, you can get your money back, but you can't get your time back. And I have always loved and remembered that, because like, and I think about that, and I swear that has helped me in my everyday stress. Like, I swear that's helped me make so many decisions where you're trying to decide like what to do. Like, okay, do I save money and take, you know, the train to the subway, and then, you know, and take the van to set, or do I just drive to set and just eat the cost of the tolls and stuff like that? That's another thing. Tolls is like a bitch. I don't know if anyone has any problems with, like, you know, tolls and stuff like that in like San Fran and Chicago and like Atlanta, but yeah, tolls are another thing. But like, when you're deciding, like, you can get your money back, but you can't get your time back. And I think about that, and I'm like, if driving my car saves me a half hour on both ends, in the morning and at night when I'm going home, that's an hour I can get back for sleep. And that is like priceless for me. If I can get another hour of sleep, I know that I can do my job better. I will be happier with an hour of sleep, because like, people are like, oh, you can just sleep on the van or you're sleeping in your Uber or your safety ride or whatever. I'm like, I literally can't sleep in an Uber. I can't sleep in a van. I don't know. I mean, God bless you if you can, because I can't. I literally can't, like, just sleep in a van or sleep in, you know, a random, you know, car that's like driving, because like, I don't know. It's like sleeping on can you guys sleep? Like, it's like sleeping on an airplane. Like, I can, but like, the quality of sleep's just not that great. So you can't really count, like, even if I were to fall asleep on a van or like a train or whatever, or the subway, like, first of all, I'm not falling asleep on the subway, because like, that's unsafe. Like, so you're about to get robbed, bro. You're about to get robbed on the subway. So like, thinking about like the choices you have to make, I always tend to go, if it's a little bit more expensive, but it's more convenient for me and it gives me more time, I'm done. I've decided, like, it's okay, fine. I'll pay that $15 toll, which, by the way, is the toll in New York City. I think it's like 17 in some other bridges. The tolls are crazy to get into New York City. It keeps going up. I believe the first toll I ever paid to get into New York was like $12, and it's gone up in the past 10 years. Like, oh, I guess 50 cents a year is not that bad, but like, you know, it's crazy. So another film stressor is weather. Now, I don't care where you are. You can be on the East Coast, you can be in Atlanta, you can be in New York, you can be in LA, you can be in Chicago. All of those places have different types of weather. And we all have different seasons. Like, okay, we're not shooting in San Diego where it's like 72 every single day. Okay? It's not like that. So LA, you know, there are different things are happening in LA. You guys get some weird rain there. Like, I remember the first 2 weeks I moved out in LA, it was raining for 2 weeks, and I was like, I did not move from New York to get this shitty ass weather in Los Angeles. Yes, $15 for a toll. Like, yes. And then 17 in other places. Okay. But I have an easy pass, so I save money, thankfully. So I pay like off peak is like 10.75, and then peak times is like I think 12.50 for me. So I'm saying not to be an advertisement for Easy Pass, but it does save you money when you have an Easy Pass. Just saying. So your weather around the globe is a factor because filming, we shoot in the elements. We are out there, rain, snow, high winds, there are thunderstorms, and when there are thunderstorms, production has to pause. Think about that. We have to just sit there and wait for like the thunder to go away, and we're just sitting there. Just wait, just like, oh, like when I think if it's if lightning strikes within 3 miles, and some places have 6 miles, 6 mile radius of production because of the generators, all the metal that we have. Like, if it strikes the generator, everyone can be electrocuted. So the whole production has to have a rain delay. They call it a rain delay. So we have to sit there and get under cover and wait this out until the thunder goes away. So, but like wind, rain, snow, like it's freezing temperatures, extreme hot. Like, working in Atlanta, I have never appreciated working in New York in the winter so much. I was hot and sweaty every single day when I was working in Atlanta. And I will say that I definitely wore the wrong things. And I have a video. I wrote a video about what to wear on set. And I can't wait to make this video because I'm I can't wait to make it because it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to have a real fun time shooting this video. So what to wear on set is going to be a video I'm going to have. And Atlanta taught me a lot about knowing the area you're shooting in and dressing for that climate. It's a huge thing. Like, making sure you have the proper attire, making sure you have the, certain layers you have to have on to make sure you stay warm, but also you can move properly because you got to move quick on set. And if you're like stiff and like the things that you're wearing is like making you not mobile, it's just not good. You want to make sure you can actually move in the stuff that you're in. Like some people like to wear snowsuits, and there's a friend of mine, she works in wardrobe, and she got this like vintage like snowsuit, and it's bright pink. But also I have to think about like when she has to use the bathroom, that is like a major undertaking for her. Like, she's gonna take the whole thing off. For me, that doesn't work. When I have to go to the bathroom and I'm working as an AD or a PA, like I need to quick thing. Like, I need to take whatever off very, very quickly. And some people wear these jumpsuits and snowsuits, and I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that right now, because how the hell are you spending that much time in the bathroom, like just getting your clothes off to use whatever? I find it crazy. But yes, weather is a major, major thing because we're working in extreme conditions, like on the beach. Like, just honestly, on rooftops. Like, it's crazy the stuff that we have to do. So yes, the weather and the extreme conditions that you work on set is crazy. Robert, hi, thanks for joining me. Try Alberta. Okay, listen, I'm not messing with Canada. I know, I am from Buffalo, New York. I know what that weather feels like, but Alberta is a little bit more, I think, I would say 50% more extreme than Buffalo, but like, I understand. Like, hats off. So another thing is, people are not going to work at the pace that you want to. And that's a weird thing, right? You're like, what are you talking about? Now, there are some people who are very fast. They have the really good sense of urgency. They're they're killing it. Like, but then other people in other departments are like, they're a little bit slower. They're a little bit more relaxed. And it's just, for me, this is a major stress, major stressor, because I want my staff, I want my PAs, I want my other ADs, I want them to be Rachel, right? Yeah, yes, I cannot wait to make this video about the weather, Rachel. Trust me, I cannot wait. It'll be coming out in a couple weeks because it's like it's a lot of theatrics in it, so it's like a lot of things I gotta do. But when people are working at a pace that you don't agree with, it is very, very frustrating. And frustration leads to stress. So that's another stressor, like on set specifically because, and especially in the AD department as an AD, because you're just like, I have a schedule, I gotta go. I gotta get this shit, I gotta like, we gotta get the day. Like, we don't have money for this, we don't have the time for this, whatever. Like, the actors we only have this actor for this day, we gotta get it done. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, people working at different paces, like, for me, it's like, there's a fine line. There's a fine line for this balance. And it's either you don't want to be so urgent and so frantic where you're making people anxious and you're making people like feel like, but then also you don't want to be so chill to where you're like, oh, I'll get there when I get there. They're going to get this when I get there, and like take your sweet time. It's like, we're all here to do a job here, man. Like, do you want to wrap early? Because I would love it. So if you can get there as quick as you can, all the seconds that people hustle, all the things, I think all the seconds add up, all the minutes add up. Like, the extra minute that you will take to get out of the wardrobe truck, the extra minute that you will take to get out of the camera truck and push that gear over, like, all those minutes add up to, like, the 15 minutes after, maybe we wrapped after 12 and it's 15 more minutes. Like, I hate when I do a day and I'm the first AD and I don't wrap on time. Obviously, no AD likes this, right? We like to make our days. We like to get what we need to get. We have to make sure we wrap the crew in 12 hours or less, right? Sometimes I have 10-hour restraints, whatever. Whatever the case may be, I want to make sure I get that goddamn day. There is nothing more frustrating if, like, say I have to wrap at midnight. We had a noon call. We're wrapping at midnight. And then like, I wrap at 12:05. 12:05 is... I could have prevented that. I could have made that time up somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, 5 minutes, like, and it's like, but see, the thing is, and why you're like, why are you making such a big deal about 5 minutes? Well, I'm making a big deal about 5 minutes because at midnight, if I didn't wrap the crew, that's when they go into penalty. Those 5 minutes just cost me like a half hour of penalties for everybody, and cost productions probably thousands of dollars in 5 minutes. Because even if it was like 12:01, then it's like, then they all get the penalties or whatever, and they start overtime. So that, like, every minute counts, and that's the thing. It was like, when people have different paces, it's like, we all got to get on the same page. Like, I love when my team has, like, we're all on the same page. We know we got to grind, we got to be there, let's do our best. Like, let's not, like, if you're just starting out as a PA, and, like, I tell you, okay, grab breakfast, eat it, come back to set. That doesn't mean take a half-hour break, you know what I mean? So, because, I may not say anything, but I definitely have tracked that you took your sweet-ass time. I didn't say go grab breakfast and, like, take, like, just, like, take a daily stroll and, like, take your time and drink your coffee while you're just, like, sitting, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, I know when people are milking it, and I know the difference between them milking it and then coming right back. Like, I know the timing. And then you're like, oh, well, I was waiting for a van or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, like, I know the game. Don't try and lie to me. I know. Like, I know what happens. You go to breakfast. Breakfast is like 5-minute drive away or 5-minute walk away. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I need to know that I have a team that I can trust. They'll let go. Maybe, I would say, I give it a little grace. Like, people gotta take their time and eat. Like, please, sit down, eat. But also, know this. Breakfast is a courtesy on set. Okay? And if you want to take your sweet time, come early. Come early if you want to eat your breakfast slow. Like, I'm sorry, like, breakfast is not built into the day. It is a courtesy on most film sets, and it might be different in different countries. I was just working with someone yesterday. She worked in Brazil. Anna, if you're watching this, shout out to you. She was my helper yesterday. And she said that in Brazil, like, one of the major things, like, everyone's owed a ride to set. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, for real? Like, that's amazing. Like, here, ain't nobody owed anything as far as rides are concerned. But, yeah, breakfast is a courtesy. It is not like you can sit down and eat your breakfast. And here's the thing. It's like, when you are a crew member, they know, well, you got to come early because they got to be, by the time we call the crew in at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., they got to be on that truck and they got to be unloading. Like, there's no, like, okay, I'm going to have breakfast at 8 o'clock and then show up to the truck 8:15 and start pushing out. Your boss and your head of the department is going to be like, what? Excuse me? You were 15 minutes late, and you probably won't be brought on the next day. Like, if you're a day player. Like, do not pull that stuff when you're a day player. Like, when you're just filling in for the day, no. You can't do it. Can't have it. So people who are working at different paces is a major, major thing. Let's talk about personalities. Now, this is another film. I say this is film specific because I feel like in other jobs, you're with them a little less. Like a 6-hour shift or an 8-hour shift is like, you can probably get away with, faking it, putting on your best smile and being like, all right, I'm going to do this job. But in film, there's so many hours that you're working and you're put through so many extreme conditions. All of your personality is going to just come right out. And I can see right through when people are trying to bullshit me, fake me out, manipulate me, and be like, I'm this really great person. And you're like, no, you're not. Like, I know when someone's being sincere. I know for a fact if someone is being themselves. I know when they're trying to fake it. I know, like you work so many hours. Like, a regular film day is like 3 days on a regular job because you're working that many hours with people. It is crazy. And close quarters too. Like, you're with them all the time, like throughout the day, especially if it's like your fellow PA. Like, I'm working like if I'm doing like first team, I'm gonna be with the actors all day long. All day long, or if I'm, my helper is gonna be with me all day long. Like, you're working in close contact with the people that are on set. So it's like you really get to know their habits, you really get to know their personality, and you really get to know if, just who they are as people, like, really. And that's why I say, like, in the beginning, one of the everyday stressors of, like, if you're not being yourself, and you're in the conflict is, if you're not being yourself, and then, like, you're put into a situation where all of it is seeping out and you're like this, like, weird, like, push and pull of, like, I don't want to reveal this horrible thing about me. It's like you're going to have a very tough internal battle on set because it's like people are going to see you for who you really are and you're trying to mask that. Done. You're done. You're going to be, like, exhausted. Mentally exhausted. Like, why am I so tired? I didn't know, like, why, like, your brain is about to explode. Because you're trying to put too much effort in being a person that you're not. So yeah, people have different attitudes and personalities. That's another stressor, right? But also, when people are assholes and people are difficult to work with, it is so frustrating, it's irritating, it's annoying when you have people in power positions that are assholes and, like, how did this person get to where they are? And you're like, how did you get this far? And, like, have the personality that you do. Like, do you think it's okay to be disrespectful? And they're, like, a director, and they're, like, belittling people. Or they're a director of photography, and they're, like, fucking, they're just horrible people. Now, luckily, we've gotten into a day and age where it's, like, the culture is, no, you cannot treat people that way. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that diversity is on the rise on set. Like, there's more women on set. There's more people of color on set. There's more, all different types of people are working on set, and they're working in front of the camera. And I think it has a huge factor in that, like, how people are being treated. They're like, I don't want to be treated like that anymore. And then they hire people who are also going to be, like, not treating people like shit. And they're just weird. I was talking about this last night with a couple of friends of mine. On film sets, it's like, I don't know where this culture, how it got so far. I mean, okay, movies, we've been making them since, like, what, 1930s, something like that. We're almost 100 years in the making here. We're talking about, like, the first movie, like, I'd say 1920s, the first moving picture. If anyone knows the first moving image, I don't know, movies, like, the first movie ever was, like, what, one of those silent films in, like, 1920s, I would say. So, like, maybe we're 100 years in the making here. 100 years. Maybe we've hit the 100-year mark. If you know, let me know in the comments. But, like, we've come so far, but, like, there's been this hustle of, like, no, you'll do as I say no matter what, and you'll follow me, and you do, like, there's this, like, I don't care what conditions I'm going to put you in. I don't care about how you feel. I don't care about, like, what you're feeling throughout the day, or, how you're treated. So I hate this culture, and it's definitely making a shift in the industry right now. It is totally making a shift. And it definitely has a lot to do with the diversity. And if you guys saw my live stream on my Instagram, And if it's up, you can check out at Beyond Film School on Instagram. It's still up there. It's on like on my posts. It's one of my reels there. You check it out. And I'm talking about like the set that I'm on right now. It's only like a 6-day shoot. The set that I'm on right now. Okay, you're gonna say it right now, but like I talk about a little bit more there. But like the DP, the director, the showrunner, the lead actress, lead actor. I don't know why I don't really like saying actress. So like the lead actor, DP, director, first AD, second AD, and gosh, there's another player in there. But they're all women. And there are so many things that I've noticed on this set with this crew that is just so like it's just a relief to like, oh wow, everyone is respecting each other, everyone's calm as shit, like, you know, there's no like weird animosity between people, there's no like major testosterone or toxic masculinity, sorry, that's like, you know, women can have toxic masculinity as well, so it's not just, you know, for the guys. Like there's none of that like weird like I have to prove something, I need to like make sure I push someone down to make myself feel better, but you know, so it's kind of refreshing to have such a different vibe on set. And that's why I swear to God, every film set that I work on has taught me something and made me realize like, wow, like I'm just dumbfounded. I'm like, wow, I've learned something again. Just when I think where I'm like, okay, well, I've kind of reached the pinnacle of what I'm going to learn in film, like every set and working with different people teaches me something else. But yeah, all these women in these power roles, treating people with respect, not yelling, degrading, and like just kind of just doing their job, respecting everybody below them. You can tell on this crew that they respect each other. And that's a major thing that you just don't see in film a lot. Because a lot of it's like, I'm going to say something, you do as I say, that's it, you know? And it's like, the way people are leading nowadays is getting better, and I love that. So yeah, assholes in power positions, there's like, that is something you really can't do anything about. You can't control who they are, obviously, but, you know, you can control how you feel, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So yes, assholes in power positions are a major film stressor, so, I mean, you're always going to have them. I know it's improving, but you're always going to have them no matter what. Now, this is, I feel bad that I'm going to say this next one. But when the director keeps going, take after take, there's no end in sight. You're like, how many takes are we going to do? Why do we need 15 takes of this? And sometimes I'm on set and I'm thinking, why are we doing 10 takes and there's no notes for the actor, or there's no notes for camera, or there's no notes for the lighting or anything? And you're just left there like, I wish I was in this person's head. I wish I was in that brain, because I don't know why we had to do 20 takes of that. And we're on the same scene for the same shot for like all the morning that we just had, like before lunch. Taking so many takes is a very, very, very film specific stressor. You're just like, you're so frustrated, like, what is the actor or the camera person, or what is happening that they are not giving the director what they want, and you just can't figure it out, and you're like, I wish I was a fly on the wall for some of these creative meetings. You're just like, what is happening? So yes, that is a major, major thing that you cannot control that. You just gotta that is way out of your control. Film structure that is way, way, way out of your control. So another thing that has to do with this, all the takes. Now there may be no notes and you're like, what is happening? You're just like kind of flying blind, and you're like, why is this person going again and again and again and again, take after take after take. Another one is when people change their mind. I will answer this question. Okay, so Zoe, thank you for joining. I'm glad you're watching, and that comment is great. Have you ever been on a film where they have taken over 100 takes? I have not. Thank God. I believe, oh God, there is a famous director that does that. Gosh, I don't want to say it's Wes Anderson, because I feel like it's a bad thing to say. It's not Martin Scorsese. There's a famous director that does do that. Gosh, I'll have to find it later, but if someone can find, like, there's a director out there that does do over 100 takes, and I think the most takes that I've ever gotten to, I think, was like 36 takes. I think that was like the most I've had, and I'm just like, oh my God. And usually when you have a lot of takes like that, where I can understand why we're doing so many takes, if it's a very it is a very, very long scene where there's a lot of moving parts, where like, perfect example is like when, in Citizen Kane, the first scene of the movie is like a huge long thing. It's like going through the city, and there's cars, there's lots of queuing happening, where like you have to make sure this person walks at that certain time, or like that movie Night in London, I think, with Woody Harrelson, hit that movie where it was like a live movie, which look into this movie, Woody Harrelson, I think it's like A Night in London it's called, and this is like I think, you know what, Sadie, like I think Kubrick did do that for The Shining. You know what, you're probably right. I'm not sure. But oh, there we go. My chat. Okay. Whew, chat's there. Whew. I think that Kubrick did do it, or Fincher. Okay, you're probably right. So when I said who was the famous director that did over 100 takes, I think it was Fincher. That was the first director that came to my mind. So probably is Fincher. I'm pretty sure it's Fincher. Oh wait, you're talking about Rob. Oh my God. Blade Runner is, oh my God, Blade Runner director, oh my God, Scott something. There's Scott something. Scott, I can't remember the director's name. I cannot remember the director's name. Oh my God. Ridley Scott. There we go. Whew. Right? I'm pretty sure Ridley Scott did Blade Runner. Right? Please correct me. Give me this answer. I need the power of my viewers to like research this right now. Blade Runner, I'm pretty sure was Ridley Scott, but I like those, like a Fincher, I think was the first one that came to my mind for sure. But yeah, when you have like a lot of moving long shots where it's like, going through the city, and like there's an actor has to go this way, and everything has to be timed perfectly, and if someone misses the timing, then of course you're going to start over. Like I get that, where it's going to be a lot of takes, where it's like you have to have everything hit. Like what? Yes, exactly. Yes, Robert. Yes, thank you. Ridley Scott. Yes. So right. Okay, good. So you have to have like the right timing, and everything has to be placed right. So like I get why we're gonna do that many takes, but like on top of that, the many takes and like that is just, I get it. But when someone changes their mind 18 different times when we're on a shot, and you're like, okay, we're gonna do for example, we're gonna do a two shot 50-50, meaning there's gonna be a person here and a person here, and they're like maybe facing each other, and it's like the screen is split. That's why they call it a 50-50. Like this is like basic film school. Like 50-50 shot is this, which you do learn in my Set PA online class actually. There's like two people, and it's like 50% is this actor, 50% of the screen is the other actor, right? And then like all of a sudden the director's like, we've set it up, we've lit it, and they're there, and they're like, you know what if? When I'm there at the director's monitor, and the director goes, you know what, but what if I think, and I'm like, no, we just took a half an hour to set this up, and now everything's gonna change, and it keeps changing, and it changes again, and then it changes again, and then you know what, it changes again. So you're like, why are you changing your mind? And that's just the creative process. Unfortunately, some directors are like, no, I want this, that's what I want. And other directors are like, I want to see what it looks like, I want to feel it out, and if it doesn't work, we'll change it. But then there are other directors who are like, yes, this is what I want, and they're like, it doesn't work, and then they try something else, and then that's it. Whereas like they change their mind like one time, and then we're good. But there are other directors who like for every take, every shot, they're like, you know what? But how about we do this? It's like, bro, like, how are you, like, girl, like, let's go, like, stop. Like, I'm just sitting there like, why? I mean, I guess if I were a director, I could probably be like, it's hard. I know it's very, very difficult to be a creative on set, which is your director of photography, your writer, because they wrote it, right? But like they've already done their hard work, they've written it, but sometimes the actors and the director tap into the writer to get the creative motivation of like, where were you going with this kind of thing. And the DP director are basically your creative crew on set, right? And sometimes the producers as well, they have creative say as well, but the main brains, the creative brains, are going to be your actors, director, and director of photography, because the actors are performing, and they bring that creative element to their performance as well. So the creatives on set, working in an environment where it's logistics and timing and money, bringing those two things together is very, very hard. And that's why filmmaking is so difficult, because it's like you're putting the constraints on a creative brain, right? And it's just like, it's tough. It's very, very tough to kind of perform under very tight restricted conditions. Like, we don't have a lot of time, so you better hurry up and make your mind what you want creatively so we can do this. So, like, when people change their mind, it costs a lot of money, costs a lot of time, costs a lot of stress and frustration with a lot of people who are like, God damn it. Like, and I think when people change their minds or can't make up their minds, the one thing I will tell you, if you are trying to be a director, the one thing is you have to be decisive. Figure out what you want and tell the crew what you want, because if you don't tell them what you want, they can't do anything and they can't put things in motion. And I guess there's a certain point where you can change your mind. We're all human. And we're making good shit. We're like making TV. We're making movies, right? We're making whatever. You can change your mind, but you can't keep changing it. There's got to be a point. There's got to be a point where it stops. It's like, okay, after like 3 changes, we're like, okay. Like, and I've seen this happen where, you know, they've decided on a wardrobe, and then they, you know, have, they go on set and they find out it just doesn't mesh well with whatever is like on the set, like production design wise, which shouldn't happen usually, because the production designer and the wardrobe person usually should be talking about that sort of stuff. Like, maybe it's, you know, right. Robert, you're totally right. It's joining the right and left hemisphere 100%, like 100%. Right. So like, you are like, so the costume designer and the production designer, like, production designer is the one who's built, like, designing the sets, and they're like in charge of what you're seeing, like set dressing and like what they, you know, and they have a hand in like what wardrobe's supposed to look like. So like, when you have someone change their mind, like, oh, this doesn't work, like, oh, we have to change the couch because they really want that actor and that like like that outfit, right? So like, the wardrobe person's like, okay, well, we don't have to change the, you know, outfit, which might have potentially been easier to change the actor, because then they have to change the color of the couch, because the color of the couch doesn't mesh well with the color of the outfit that the actor is wearing. So like, finding a whole new couch might be a little bit more difficult than finding a whole new outfit. Or it could not be. Who knows? They might have something on standby. I don't know. But either way, like, things have to, you know, you have to be decisive. You have to tell us what you want. You have to like make sure that you are decisive and you are sure with what you want, because like, it's costing us money and time. It's all about money and time, people. It's all about money and time. Now, my last film specific stressor is going to be inefficient effort. Now, I guess maybe this might be, oh yeah, this is like, not an advertisement for Brian Lair's show. I do listen to him, but it's more like WNYC. I'll do it this way just to make sure, like my other tea mug. There we go. I kind of like this one. It's like New York. Sorry. Now, inefficient efforts for me in my everyday life, and this is probably why I work in the AD department. In my everyday life, I try to do as many things as possible as efficient as possible. For example, one stupid thing is like, if I am waiting in line for something, maybe it's like my coffee, or yeah, we'll say simple as waiting for my coffee, right? If I am waiting in line, I have to be doing something else. Maybe it's deleting my inbox. Maybe it's going through my emails. Maybe it's answering comments on, you know, my YouTube channel. Maybe I have to be doing something else, because while I'm waiting, I know I could be doing something else. For example, every morning, like, if I'm waiting for my coffee to brew, I'm not going to stand there and wait for it. I'm going to do my hair at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be doing something at the same time where I can let something go and be happening, and do something, you know, actively, where like I may be using my hands for something while I'm just waiting for, maybe I'm waiting for like something to load, or like, for example, when I export my videos, I'm not going to sit there and wait for it to export. I'm going to get up and do something else to, like, you know, in the meantime, I'm going to get something. Those are like very, very simple, like, duh answers. But like on set, if, for example, you know, I'm waiting for an actor to step out, or like, okay, maybe I'll go grab their contract and bring it to them, you know, make sure they have it. Like, there's just like, I need to have something happening at the same time. I never want to wait for just one thing. And that is probably that's my AD training. It's got to be, because my mindset, my go-to philosophy on set, like, if I'm the first, I never want to be waiting for just one department. I never want to wait for one department. If 2 departments are working at the same time, great. If there are, it's just, I'm waiting on one, that's something you don't want. No one ever wants to be the department that set is waiting on. And like, no one ever wants to be the, like, and that's always a question you always get on set. Are they waiting for me? No, they're not waiting for you. They're also, they're setting up lights. So don't worry. Or like when an actor is in makeup and they're like, are they waiting for her? Like, or are they waiting for so-and-so? Like, no, they are, they're wiring another actor right now. So you have some time. It's like, there's just, you want to have things happening all at the same time. So when people are inefficient, it's like, that is probably one of my top stressors, is like when things are just inefficient. For example, another inefficiency in a different department would be like, the key grip needs a flag for script supervisor. So instead of grabbing the stand and then plop it down and then go back for a flag and then plop it down and then go back for a sandbag and then they plop it down. No, they're going to have like one guy carry the flag and stand, another guy carry the sandbag. I'll come at the same time, get it done. So I'm talking about like, efficient, like, you have to have sometimes two guys doing that. Sometimes I've seen a grip grab all three of those things, no problem, plop it down, but they're not going to take 3 trips back and forth. That's crazy. That's inefficient. And that's another thing where I find like with all departments where they have to like, they're not thinking about what they can stack at the same time and what they can do efficiently. So that's just like a small example, but inefficient efforts. For example, in the AD department, for let's see, if I am grabbing breakfast for the first and the DP, I'm going to get their orders from both of them first and then go to breakfast, right? I'm not going to go get the first, go get their order, come back, get the DP's order, and then come back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to make 2 trips, because those 2 trips, one trip might cost me 15 minutes. So 2 trips, 30 minutes. Like, that's crazy. I can't do that. We have no time for that at all, right? Like, we got to think about efficiency. Also, another thing is, if a good question I ask, like, for example, when you're a key PA, you are the one talking to the Teamsters. You're the one talking to the Teamster captain about like the vans or the transportation you might need to the next set, or to base camp from set, or set to, like going wherever you need to go. And like, I'll talk to the key PA and be like, hey, I have so-and-so that needs a ride. Did you already talk to Transpo? Because I don't want to bother them again. So like, I'm asking because I don't want to, like, first of all, waste my time talking to a Teamster when they're like, oh, that person already talked to me about this thing. It's like those types of things. Like, double work is very, very annoying. Another thing is, like, some people they'll just start acting and doing before they actually, like, know that it needs to happen. Like, oh, well, I got breakfast and I got coffee for this actor. And you're like, I already got that this morning because I was in half hour before you. So why did you waste your time getting breakfast with that person? Why did you waste your time, getting that order when you could have asked me, like, oh, hey, did so-and-so get their order yet? It's just like, that working smart, not hard thing. You know what I mean? So those are a few things that are film stressors. There's a lot of them. There's actually a lot of them. So film stressors that are definitely, some are in your control, some are out of control, but when other people are doing them, it's definitely out of your control. Okay, let's talk about managing the everyday stress. Things that are in your control, that you can do. Like, 100%, you can do these things. You're like, what? How do I manage my stress? I don't know. But you know what? These are the things that you're like, yes, I can take the steps. I can do these things, and then I'll be less stressed on set. Like baseline. Your baseline's going to go down. Like, it's going to be like, great. Drink water. I started this podcast. I started this live stream with water. We got to talk about H2O, right? We got to talk about this. Now, the average person has to take in 120 ounces. I don't know what that is in milliliters. I should probably look it up real quick. I don't know how many that, like, because most around the world, okay, we're weird in the U.S. We're like the only person on this, the imperial system, I think it is. I don't know. Because metric system is like how everyone else in the world measures water and like ounces and whatever. So ounces, 120 ounces ends up being, I have no idea in milliliters, I don't know, or liters or whatever it is. But 120 ounces is like baseline, like average person. Now, if you're taller or you weigh more, or if you're just a bigger stature type person, then you're going to need more water. And there are like so many people who wake up in the morning and don't drink water, come to set like hours in, and they're like, oh, I haven't drinking any water today. How are you surviving? How are you surviving on set with no fucking water? I don't understand. First thing you need to do when you wake up in the morning, have like 16 ounces of water, which is like 2 cups of water. Have 2 cups of water straight away. Some people are like, oh, well, my stomach feels full, but like fucking, you have to like take, a cup of water that's 8 ounces, super small. Start out with that. Do like your thing. And then before you leave for work or whatever, do another 8 ounces. I start with 24. I start with this size jar. It's 24 ounces in this, which is, I think, almost a liter, like 3/4 of a liter or something like this. But like this. Okay, Andrew, good. So easier to think as 6 pints. Perfect. 6 pints, great. So we use pints. But this, I drink one of these before I leave for work in the morning. Okay? And then when I'm on my drive to work, might be 45 minutes, might be an hour, I usually am drinking 16 more ounces of water on my drive over to set. So then I'm 40 ounces in by the time I get to set. If I don't have that water, like sometimes I'll like not do the 16 ounces on my drive over to set or location, and I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit like, why do I feel a little bit like this? Because I am not up to like the standard of water I should be having at that time of day. It's a major factor. Drink water, folks. I'm not kidding. Like, also, drinking a lot of water helps your weight gain. Because like the more water you have, think of like water in your body as like the oil system for an engine. That's probably the best way to think about it. Like if you don't change your oil, your car is fucked, all right? So like think about your body as a car, and the water is like the oil that your engine needs to run for your car. If you don't have enough water, all the systems are not working properly. So like drinking enough water, it's just like getting at like a proper foundation of like how your body should function. And like your body needs to function at like 100. It needs to be like able to go when you're working on set, because there's too many things. Like we just talked about the outside stressors for film, right? We talked about the outside stressors, and like all of those things are coming at you. So like let's just get your foundation good, right? 120 ounces at the very least. There's a converter, like you can just do quick Google like how much water should I be drinking, and there's like, oh, this is how much you weigh, this is how tall you are. Oh, we'll talk about coffee in a minute, Greg. Thanks for your question. We'll talk about coffee in a minute. Yeah, we'll talk about like what counts as water. So like just go on Google. There's a converter. Like there's like how much water should I be drinking? Mine was like 120 ounces, which was actually like that's average, right? Okay, so what counts as water? Caffeine. So like okay, like I'm drinking my water, right? I'm drinking my water, which actually, but I also, on my drive over to set, I am drinking like 3 espresso shots. I'm drinking espresso. I have a little travel mug. I don't have it with me right now. Like, I'm pretty sure like some of you guys, if you see my Insta stories, my Keep cup that I love, I fucking love that cup. It's like my go-to every morning type cup. I drink a lot of coffee throughout the day. I drink black coffee. But a lot of people don't drink black coffee. Anything that has sugar, caffeine, or like any type of calories in it, that's not counting as water. It's like if it has sugar, like your pops, or what you guys call it, soda or whatever. Even if you're busy on set, how can you make sure to keep drinking water enough during the day? Okay, Zoe, this is a good question. I get this all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about coffee first. So if it's caffeine is a diuretic, right? That causes your body to like pee more, basically, to filter out more. So like I know I drink a lot of coffee. I do not count my coffee drinking as my 120 ounces. Okay, and sometimes I'll even drink more water, because if I'm like drinking too much coffee, that means my body is like exhausting too much water out of my system. So coffee, tea, if it's decaffeinated tea, like for example, if I drink a ginger tea or a ginger lemon tea or a decaffeinated green tea, I will count that, because for me, that's just like, I think that's like good. You're putting good stuff in your body. It's not caffeine, and it's not sugar, and it's not like horrible stuff that's gonna like ruin your shit. Like it's not gonna ruin your body. It's not gonna make you crash. It's not like, because caffeine and sugar can make your body crash hard as shit. Like it's bad. So like 120 ounces of water. Caffeine is not counted, especially if you're drinking those lattes, all that milk. That's food as far as I'm concerned. Like when you're drinking like milk and stuff like that, that's a lot of sugar. That's a lot of stuff that your body is just like, okay, I gotta work to process this. So it's not really helping in the way that you think it's helping. Like if you're drinking like maybe because there's like natural occurring sugars in regular milk, with like oat milk and almond milk and stuff like that. If you're doing it unsweetened, it's good. It's a little bit better, but I still would not count that as your water intake at all. Now, it's kind of funny, because as soon as you start focusing on your water intake, you want to snack less. You automatically are like, oh, I'm full from water. Your body does not want food. And sometimes what happens is this. The reason why people are snacking so much on set is because they don't realize they're just thirsty. Your body is like, I need something. It's like telling you to eat something or put something in your mouth, and it's just water, basically. So, like, most of the time, that's how people gain so much weight on set. Like, you may be moving around, but some positions on set, you are not moving around. Think about that. You're not moving around as much as you think. Like, PAs, grips, electric, people who are, like, running and gunning, like, all day long, prop people, whatever, like, they're doing the steps. But some people, like the director's sitting down all day. The producers are sitting down. Like, they're looking at a monitor. They're sedentary. They're, like, looking. And there might be a little of interaction, but they're not as, like, moving around as much as you think. So they're, like, not burning as many calories as everyone else on set. Depends on what position you're in. Like, script supervisor as well. They're, like, tied to that monitor, unfortunately, you know? So thinking about, like, what you're doing during the day, and, like, you're not burning that many calories, but then, like, you're not drinking water either because you're so focused in the work that you forget to drink water, which you're not hungry, you're just thirsty. Just think about that. Just, like, before you go reaching for Crafty. And that's the funny thing, is that people love going to Crafty. People love going for snacks and going for sugar. They'll remember to go to Crafty, but they won't remember to drink water. Like, I mean, I don't know why. That's probably because whatever snack you're about to get from Crafty is, like, feeding your brain that reward system, right? They're like, okay, well, yes, sugar, yay, my brain's like happy, dopamine, what all that stuff. So Zoe and Rachel, your question about drinking enough water. What I do is I start my day with 40 ounces of water, right? So then I'm like, okay, 40 ounces, I only have to do 80 ounces. If you break up a 12-hour day, if you break... Thanks, Greg. I love that. I didn't know that. Yes, I'm so happy that, like, seriously, that's why it's my number one suggestion, drink water on set. So when you think about a 12-hour day, and I just had this conversation with one of my helpers on set the other day, and she's like, how do you know to drink enough water? I was like, if you break it down, one water bottle, like, you might have a 16 or 500 milliliters, I know is 16 ounces. I know that. So if you have one bottle of water, which most likely is 500 milliliters or 16 ounces, if you do that every hour, if you look at your watch, like, oh, it's now 1, and it, like, a little while ago, it was, like, you know, noon. Okay, now it's time to drink some water. Every hour, if you drink one bottle of water, and you think about it, if you think about it that way, breaking it down to something that, like, short, you're like, wait a minute, like, that's not a lot. One bottle of water an hour, and for me, what I do, apparently I just pound waters. People make fun of me for this. It's like, I will take a bottle of water, and because I want to count it, I just do it. I, like, take 30 seconds, I will take the first 8 ounces, take it down, do the other 8 ounces, take it, and then throw that bottle in the recycling bin because I'm done with that water. Like, I make a mental note to make sure that, like, yes, I need to count this water. Also, I'll show you on my phone. I have this. I have a counter because I have a Fitbit, right? I don't know if you guys can see my little Fitbit. Like, already done like 6,000 steps almost. So, and there's, like, let me see where we can, like, either way, there's a counter. There's a counter on there. I can't get it to go. Okay. So that's a little bit better. So, like, there's a little counter. It's really bad. I can't really do the lighting. But, like, I have a counter, and it has, like, I can pick the thing, like, 8 ounces, 16 ounces, or 24 ounces. And you can change it to, like, 5 milliliters. But you can get a counter. And that's how I literally keep track. And, like, this is, like, all my water intake. And the stars are, like, you can hardly see it. It sucks. But, like, all the stars on the side here, or over there, are, like, the days that I met my intake. So, and some days when I'm doing longer days, or if I'm drinking more coffee, I'll drink more water. So I'll reach, like, 136 ounces or whatever. So, so thinking about being busy on set, but, like, you can take 3 minutes out of every hour and just think, okay, I need to drink water. Because here's the thing, as a set PA or someone who is... Oh, Starbright, thanks for joining. I will definitely, okay, I'm going to put this chat up really quick because here's the thing about that. Starbright, you're talking about eating every 6 hours. I have a huge problem with this, but carrying a water bottle around with you, as Rachel said, I carry my own water bottle if I know that the set that I'm working on doesn't have the regular bottles of water, and they'll just do, like, their green sets, they're called, and they have, like, the refill stations. If they don't have the water bottles, I will bring my own water bottle to set. And when you work in film, like, there's always someone trying to give you a friggin' water bottle. I have, like, so many it's insane. So you can bring your own water bottle, you know, And even if you're doing like, if you have, sometimes your water bottles come in like 24 ounces. If you do that every 2 hours, great. Just like monitoring your water intake. And plus they have water bottles that like count the ounces on the water bottle. Like I don't have one, but I've seen those things and I'm like, what in the world? Like that's amazing. It'll tell you how much water you're drinking on the bottle. I swear to God. So yes, Zoe and Rachel, like it is possible. It is not impossible to drink water. Think about drinking just 16 ounces or one bottle or 500 milliliters, like one bottle of water every hour. By the time you wrap, you're going to be like, wow, like I'm totally nourished. And what I will say is this, because here's the thing, I could talk about sleep. I didn't put that on my list, but you have to get as much sleep as possible, right? So your sleep will be more satisfying and will be better when you're hydrated. So you hydrate through the day, you're setting yourself up for a good night's sleep as well. And with us not having that much time to sleep, unfortunately, like the past week I've only been getting like 5-6 hours, 6 hours if I'm lucky, of sleep a night. So if you think about making sure you're hydrated, if you are dehydrated, you have more like a better percentage of, better percentage sounds really horrible. You have a higher percentage of having like worse sleep or not being able to fall asleep and like less quality sleep. So like your hydration directly affects the quality of sleep you're about to have. So think about that. Like it is like the hydration of your body is like, it's like it connects everything. It's like a domino effect. Like literally, like seriously thinking about that is crazy. Okay, Star. Talking about eating. Now, I did have diet on here. It definitely is on my list. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's next on my list. Look at that. Pay attention to what you're eating. So, 6 hours. If I ate every 6 hours, I'd be fat as fuck. Guys, I honestly... like, people think that... okay, there's, like, so much out there about, like, oh, you need to eat every 6 hours to survive. In what world? In what world is this coming from? I don't understand. The only reason why people think that you have to eat every 6 hours is because your body is used to eating every 6 hours because you're told to eat every 6 hours. I don't know why. Okay, so me, I eat at random times. I'm not going to lie. Because of my set times, because of my lifestyle. I may wrap at like 10. I may get home by midnight because I have to wrap actors out and stuff like that. Right? So if you're thinking about like, for example, if I eat late, then I don't usually eat breakfast because I'm like, my body is telling me not to eat. If I am full when I wake up in the morning, I'm not eating breakfast. You really have to listen to your body. Do not put yourself on autopilot thinking that like, oh, well, I'm supposed to eat, so I'm going to eat. No, listen to your body. What does your body feel like? Not what your brain is feeling, not what your brain is trying to tell you, because your brain controls like the cravings and whatever. And your brain just is like, hey, I need something. And most likely it's water. Going back to the water thing. Most likely it's fucking water. Sorry I'm swearing, but I'm getting really passionate about this diet. Diet and water. So, eating every 6 hours is not for everybody. If I ate every 6 hours, I would feel so full and so like, I would feel heavy. And I would be like, for me, if I do eat breakfast in the morning, let's just say I didn't really eat late. So I ate breakfast in the morning at like 6 a.m., right? Because I got to set 6 a.m. I'm meeting an actor, got my breakfast because I got them breakfast, right? So I got them, we all got breakfast. While they're eating, I'm eating, whatever. Actors are like babies, you know, when they are chilling in their room, I'm gonna chill. When they're eating, I usually eat. It's kind of weird. But I'm gonna eat my breakfast at 6 a.m. Lunch, I'm gonna be in at 6, so usually crew call would probably be 8 a.m. We're not gonna eat lunch until 2 p.m. So like, the time I eat breakfast to the time that lunch is gonna hit, that's 8 hours. And I'm fine with that. I don't want to eat any time before that 8-hour mark because first of all, like, if I feel full, I feel like I can't move as fast and my brain is not working at its full capacity. So I will eat breakfast. And first of all, I do not eat carbs because I am celiac and I am gluten-free. So I don't eat bread. I don't eat donuts, bagels, all that shit in the morning. Some people need that. Some people need those carbs in the morning. But me, literally my go-to breakfast is this. Some type of meat, which is like either sausage or bacon. I prefer sausage if I can. Avocado, eggs. And okay, but I also do a green juice with ginger shot, and I also do fruit cup. I gotta get a vegetable in there, I gotta get some fruit in there, and gotta get some protein in there. I forgo the carbs because most carbs in the morning are not gluten free, so I can't eat them. But if I eat carbs, I feel too heavy, and then I can't move as fast. So I'm thinking about like, but see, I've gone through like years of like listening to my body and like how am I functioning, how do I feel? Because if I eat too much, I start getting tired. I do not want to start feeling tired on set. That is like my worst case scenario, being on set, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to feel like that. And a lot of people feel like that all the time. So yeah, it's about like knowing your body and how your body reacts to certain things you're put in your mouth. So people, we're talking about eating, right? So but I get hungry every sorry, I'm just reading the rest of your comment. You're supposed to eat every 6 hours. And I think that like once you start to train your body to like not eat every 6 hours, you will not be hungry every 6 hours. But also when you're on set, there are a lot of moving parts and it's super busy. Sometimes it's chaotic. I will forget to eat until lunch and I won't even think about food because I'm not like, I don't even need to be thinking about food. If you're at a spot on set and you're thinking about food, that just means you're bored. And I've been there. There have been some slow ass days on set where I'm just like, what are we doing? Like and I want to go to Crafty, but I usually get a black coffee. My go-to Crafty snacks are black coffee and gum. That's it. Or fruit. And then I get like some berries or something like that. Cured meat. That's the thing. Okay, so Zoe, you're totally right. Since we're on the subject of food, isn't eating too many cured meats bad for you? Yes. So that's the thing. It's like I do not eat a lot of it. Like most of my diet is gonna be like fruits and vegetables, because I know that is the secret sauce. Fruits and vegetables are the secret sauce. Like honestly, I do eat carbs like rice. For lunch, you give me some rice, I am a happy camper. I love rice. If I can eat a carb at lunch, for sure. Because I know my brain needs carbs. So like, but also like protein, like I do eat fish and eggs are like my usually go-to. But I'm not trying to eat a steak every day. Like you're totally right. Like eating too much red meat is bad for like your cholesterol and whatever. And like plus like anything that is going to be hard for your body to process takes more energy out of your body, which takes more energy out of you in your everyday pace. So like, yes, Zoe, you are totally right. You don't want to eat too much bad meats. Because sometimes I've been there where like, here's the thing. I've been like catering in the morning when I ask for like eggs, bacon, and avocado, they give me so much bacon. And I'm like, I don't need that much. I definitely do not need, I don't know what these caterers think I'm doing. But I don't know why I need 10 pieces of bacon. I'm definitely not going to eat all of that. I don't know why. So like, I've learned to ask for sausage because they gave me 2 sausages. So I'm like, yes, I'm not wasting any food and I'm eating something I can manage, like eating 2 pieces of like, I'm not trying to eat like a whole, like, but yes, your diet is important. And if I swear to God, do I got to put like the food pyramid on here, which is totally wrong, by the way. It's actually the updated, like the 1950s food pyramid is like wrong because it has like the baseline. Most of it's like carbs and grains and shit, which is like not good. Your baseline should be as many fruits and vegetables as you can. Anything that processes through your body fast is better for you. Yeah, no, it's there's a delay because OBS and stuff, and there's like just that's how naturally it just goes, Robert. Unfortunately, that just happens. I don't know why. There's a delay. It sucks. I wish it wasn't, but there just is. So yeah, diet, vegetables, people, and I think like for me, being mindful of what my meal is consisting of. If my breakfast doesn't have some type of vegetable or fruit in it, I'm like, okay, that's not good. My lunch definitely has to have vegetables in it. And I've had like a lot of late nights. And by the time, okay, so for example, the 8 a.m. crew call, right? 8 a.m. I'm eating breakfast at 6. Lunch is at 2. I'll eat lunch at 2. And then we'll wrap probably around 8. I'll probably get home around 10. So I haven't eaten for another 8 hours. So 16 hours have gone by. I've had 2 meals. And sometimes what I'll do before I leave set, before we wrap, I'll go to Crafty and I'll eat a banana and some peanuts, which literally did that last night. Because when I know I'm like starting to get tired and I know I need like something to get me through my like drive home and wrapping out, I grab a banana, get some peanut butter in my system, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. If I do that, I don't eat when I get home. But if I don't do that and I'm starving, because sometimes I'm like, 25,000 steps, 30,000 steps by the time I get home, and I've only eaten 2 meals in a day, which definitely is not enough. It's not enough fuel, right? By the time I get home, like, I always have, like, sandwich stuff. I have, like, my gluten-free bread at home. I have, like, make sure I have the lettuce and tomatoes, and I always have a sandwich. Like, before bed, because I'm starving. And when you are, like, totally, like, really, really, really hungry, and your stomach is like, I need something in my system, then it makes for, like, bad sleep. But also eating something very, like, processed and, like, carby before bed is not good. Dude, I'm thinking about all this stuff all the time. My brain is on, like, 100 apparently all the time when I'm talking about this stuff to you guys, honestly. Like, I'm thinking about all of these things all the time, about, like, how to get the best quality of, like, life and sleep. And it definitely has to do everything to do with, like, what you're putting in your body. And if I don't have enough vegetables, I feel like the 5 fruits and vegetables, like, deal is, like, that's true. If you're not getting, like, 4 or 5 vegetables in your day, man, your system is not, it's not good. It's not running at it's not running at 100, I'm gonna say. So Zoe, what are set lunches like? Aren't they usually catered? What if it's something heavy like Italian? Well, that is a fact. Now, sometimes I consider my gluten-free diet restriction as a blessing, because when producers ask me, hey, do you have dietary restrictions, blah, 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 like, they know they can't give me pasta, but then they'll get me gluten-free pasta. I do not want pasta. What I end up doing is sometimes I forgo lunch and I eat, like, bananas, and, like, I'll eat, like, fruit and stuff, and nuts. Nuts is a really good go-to because it's filling, and it gives you enough fats, and it gives you enough protein to, like, get through the day. It is not my ideal. I don't suggest doing this, but, like, if they're gonna feed me Italian at lunch, I usually skip it and I try to get as many vegetables as possible. Like, indie production, I know indies do this, and it sucks because, like, indie features and commercials and stuff like that, they're always, like, gonna go for the pasta because it's cheaper, and especially pizza. Like, I love pizza and I love gluten-free pizza, but I cannot eat pizza for lunch. And, like, that's why, like, if you're trying to be a producer, please don't feed your crew. Don't feed your crew pizza day in and day out. That is, like, oh God, your crew is gonna be so tired and so miserable. Man, like, honestly, like, I skip it. I think it's better to skip it. And that's probably a bad suggestion because you have to eat, you have to fuel up, especially if you're like me. I'm average size. I got some meat on my bones, but people who are, like, more petite and maybe skinnier than me, they gotta eat something or they're, like, at zero, like, I was doing that, like, there was this commercial thing with this fitness person. They were making a whole new fitness program. She was very petite and she was very skinny. She was, like, nothing but muscle. People like that, like, they have to eat or they're really gonna fucking faint. So, like making sure that you're not eating, like, a bowl of pasta. It's like, but sometimes your body will crave carbs, and that's, like, if it's craving carbs when you're, like, really good at eating fruits and vegetables and protein, like, you're good at that, there's a reason why your body is craving certain things. So, like, just listening to it. But, like, honestly, I try to avoid pasta on, like, for lunch or anything, like, oh God, I can't. Especially, like, when I have late calls, like, we might have, like, an overnight coming, and, like, our calls at 2 p.m. and, like, the caterers are like feeding us, like, oh, hot dogs, hamburgers, and French fries. Like, what? And that is a go-to. That's, like, on union sets, they do that. But I do know that, like, if we have a 4 p.m. call, I will go to that breakfast truck and be like, are you making eggs? And they'll make me eggs because they have the eggs in the truck. I know they have the fucking eggs in the truck. I know they do. So, like, it's just a matter of, like, making sure that you can ask if they have different things. But, like, I don't want to eat pasta. I don't want to eat hamburgers and hot dogs and, like, French fries and fried shit. Well, first of all, I can't really eat fried stuff because of the whole celiac thing. But, like, I mean, I can't eat that stuff. Like, I need a fucking vegetable. I need some, like, protein. Like, honestly. So, like, anyone who's, like, a vegan or vegetarian or, like, who also is gluten-free like me, I will not lie to you, it is a bit tougher to eat on set. It is a bit tougher. It's like, man, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is very hard. Like, I've been on, like, for example, there was one 6-day shoot that I did, and It was the last day. We did an overnight, and they ordered salads for people, and I was like, yes, salad. I want a salad at 1 a.m. Of course I do. Like, fucking yes. They was like Panera salad or something like that, and they knew I was gluten free. They were good. They were good at ordering my food gluten free every day until the last day. They ordered me a salad. It was exactly what I wanted, but croutons came on it, and I couldn't eat the salad because with celiac cross contamination. Even if I take all the croutons out, all of the, I mean, and you know how croutons are. They're like dry and like it's gonna like spread out through all the fucking, you know, all the vegetables that are in the bowl. I can't eat that now because like crumbs will like ignite a gluten-free like flare up, like a celiac flare up. Like it's just horrible. So thinking about like, I was so cranky that day, and my PAs were like, Amber, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I can't fucking eat lunch. And then the producer was like, oh, can I go back? And I was just like, and there's a point when you're celiac, you don't want to be the burden when you have a special dietary restriction. But also it's like, I don't want to be the burden, but also I have to eat. But then like, I will, back then I had way, way bigger issue with managing my anger, and my anger I just wanted to shut down. I was like, get away from me. Don't fucking worry about my lunch. We're going to finish this day. I'll eat when I get home. Like, I was so mad at the fact that they fucked up my lunch, and like unreasonable. Like, I was totally unreasonable for sure. I definitely was unreasonable, but my anger got the best of me because I was hungry. Like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm starving. Like when people are hangry and they're not fed right, it's their mood switches like that. My anger issues on top of being hangry, no, it's not good. So I know that like I have to be calm and be like, producers, like, hey, just make sure. I have to tell anyone who grabs my lunch order, I have to tell them, like, I'm gluten free, please make sure it's gluten free. Like, not to get TMI, but one time someone brought me a lunch, they told me it was gluten free. It was not gluten free. By the like second last scene of the night, I was like projectile vomiting. It was so bad. I felt so horrible, and I was like, okay, never trusting anyone on this set with my lunch again. And then it takes me having to call the office PA, call the UPM about my diet. I'm like, dude, they have to have gluten-free options. They cannot give me. And for some reason, when people say they're gluten-free, the person who makes the food thinks that you're vegan for some reason, and I had to keep telling them this. I was like, I am not vegan. I can eat other things. I just can't have bread. I just can't have, like, you know, breadcrumbs, fillers, you know, pasta, like, it's really sucky when you come into these situations where, and this is also stressing. This is stressful shit. Talking about managing stress, when you cannot get food that you need, when you have dietary restrictions, when you're allergic to something, like being gluten-free is hard because like you can't have any like gravies or dressings, or gluten is hidden in a ton of different food. And people are like, how do you eat? What do you eat? I'm like, trust me, it's very, very hard. But like, it's very stressful when you can't get a meal and you have to like call people and be like, hey, like you have to feed me. Like, that is in the deal. Like, you hired me, I expect food. Unfortunately, that's the deal that we've made, you know? So like, I have to call the office. I had to like take it all the way up to the UPM. I'm like, hey, like, this is the thing. I've not eaten like 3 days. Like, I got to do something about this. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's really bad. So Rachel, I feel your pain. You are gluten-free. And I'm glad that like there are other people who are like me that like understand the struggle. Like, if you're vegetarian or vegan, I mean, vegetarian, I feel like baseline, like not eating meat, I feel like it's a fairly simple thing that caterers can achieve. It's not hard. Like, vegan's a little bit tougher because then you're taking out dairy and meat and anything that's like animal based. But like, people like caterers sometimes are just messing up like even vegetarian type meals, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like the caterers can be very, very like horrible. Trust me, they can be. And sometimes I just order my own food, which it comes out of my own pocket, which when I'm an AD is a little less frustrating because I'm making so much more money, and I'm like, fuck, I'll order my own lunch. I don't care. Like, there was one project where I was making like hundreds of dollars, and I was like, I don't like the food they're giving me, so I'm going to go out and order my own food. Which, when you're making more money, you have the luxury to do that. So, like, when you're not making that much money and you don't have those options, it's, like, it's hard. Like, I will definitely, like, try and, like, either find someplace cheap nearby, sometimes living off Crafty, because I know Crafty will have like, they'll have healthier snacks. They'll have, you know, fruits and vegetables available. Like my another go-to snack that I have is they have like the carrots and celery and like a cucumber in a cup, and it's like they give you like a little serving of hummus. That is so good for you. And people are like, well, hummus is fattening, but like you have like a little container of hummus that's like, it's like this big. It's not big at all. So you're doing like vegetables and hummus. It's like a really, really good snack. Bananas, fruits, a really good snack. Like just stay away from like, they have so much cake and cupcakes and muffins, and it's like some people love that stuff, but I can't eat that stuff every day. There's no way. But I mean, first I would just like vomit everywhere if there was like cakes and cupcakes and muffins and stuff. Sometimes I'm glad they don't have a lot of gluten-free like snacks, like gluten-free bread and gluten-free, although peanut butter and jelly is also a really good go-to. I will say this, Crafty usually has all the stuff to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly, do not underestimate the power of a PB&J, because people love PB&J, and it's just the right amount of like everything to kind of keep you going through the day. So if they have gluten-free bread, I'm all over PB&J. I love it. I love PB&J. PB&J is a really, really good snack. It's not, I mean, it's nothing to like put your nose up at. PB&J is great. If anyone has a problem with that, no. So talking about your diet, making sure that you're eating vegetables. Please make sure you're eating vegetables. Stay away from the processed foods. Stay away from the baked goods. Really, I mean, but honestly, like if you're looking for, sometimes I need sugar. The other day I had a Tootsie Pop. But I had one. I didn't have 5 because I needed that sugar. And also the other day the production treated us to ice cream. Yes, I had ice cream. Yes, I did have ice cream. Like there's nothing wrong with indulging sometimes, but you just can't do it every single day at every meal. Making sure that you're keeping your diet in mind. Eat a vegetable. Eat a fruit at least once or twice every meal, please. Okay. So the other stressor was doing things that you love, right? Making sure that you have your habits intact. What are some habits? Or hobbies. I'm sorry. I'm saying habits. Hobbies. I mean, habits and hobbies. Okay, but you should make your hobbies a habit. You really should be making your hobbies a habit, honestly. That's really a funny saying. I should like tagline that or something. So yes, your hobbies are a part of who you are. Your hobbies are your hobbies because those things make you happy. You know, like playing an instrument. Exercising could be a hobby, you know. I mean, some people are like, okay, I struggle through exercising. Okay, fine. You're doing physical fitness is great. You're exercising. Some people love it. That's a hobby of theirs. They like exercise every day. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's swimming. Maybe it's going skiing, snowboarding. Maybe, you know, sports. Great hobby to have. Crafts. Scrapbooking, reading, writing, drawing. Like I'm talking like things that are gonna like make you happy and zone out and just like, you know, some people have those adult coloring books. They make you calm as shit. I mean, these are the things that like you love to do. Like me, I love reading, and I think finished like 6 books last year, and I was like 4 or 5 books. It took me forever to like finish this one book, Celestine Prophecy. Took me forever to finish that book, but like I read every day, and I got into a habit of like reading a book every day at lunch. When I'm an AD and when I'm keying, I know that I have time to actually sit down at lunch for at least 15 minutes, because sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on at lunch where I have to like gas fans and get breakfast, making sure people get their lunches. Like I'll have PAs grab the lunches, but then like making sure that actually gets in the hands of the VIPs and the actors and stuff like that. But I know I'm going to sit down for at least 15 minutes and I'm going to read my book. And people see me on set. I'm sitting on set reading my book, and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. You're reading. I swear to God. People look at me as if I'm like, oh, wow, you're reading? What? And I'm thinking like, I'm reading a book. Like, why is that such a huge deal? And it's funny because that was when I worked on the Disney Plus movie in Connecticut this past fall. And I read a book every day, and people were like, oh, what are you reading, bro? I'm like, reading, leave me alone, first of all. But like, you know, people are really like, they were like just mind blown that I was reading on my lunch break. I find that reading on my lunch break really helps me get ready for the rest of my day. It takes my mind off the stress of the day. It takes my brain somewhere else. It gives me a little dopamine hit because I'm like visualizing things in my brain, and I'm like, I like reading, so the fact that I'm reading, it pleases me. It brings me joy. And sometimes we have such hard days on set, and it's just like I need those small moments of joy, just for a little bit, just a little something for myself, and that's super, super important. On that job, I had a camera scenic who he would draw on his break. And it's funny because camera scenics, they do a lot of drawing depending on the job, but like scenic people are very creative, and they go through this apprenticeship, and to become camera scenics and on the scenic team, it's like they have to go through this whole apprentice 3-year program, and they get a shit ton of money for it when they're out of it too, actually. But he was drawing, and I was like, I just loved seeing someone else doing what they loved on their lunch break. Like some people will nap, which if you are not getting enough sleep, if you nap on your lunch break, do it. Whatever you need to feel rested, honestly. Whatever you need to feel rested. And I fully condone people who want to take a nap on their lunch break. So yes, do it. So doing your hobbies, like I know it will take work and discipline and focus to make sure you're able to do those things, unfortunately. You can't just fly blind. Your life, you can't be on autopilot your whole life. You have to actually think about things and decide what you want to do, right? So when I go home, like sometimes if I want to be social during my lunch breaks, like the staff will get together and we'll like chit chat and commiserate and talk about dumb, like I don't know, movies or something. Like obviously it's always movies or TV that we're talking about, or we're talking about the crap of the day that's happening, or we're shit talking or whatever. If I know that I didn't read during lunch, I'll usually read before I go to bed, which actually counts as like 2 things that I'm kind of like achieving here. 1, I'm doing something I like. 2, before you go to bed, to avoid the whole like your mind still going before you go to sleep, I read. It calms me down. It takes me to another world. It's great. And plus, I don't want those film dreams I was talking about in my video. What they don't tell you about being a set PA is when you start working in film, you start dreaming about that stuff. I don't want to dream about being on set. I want my mind to go other places when I'm dreaming. I want to be, I don't know. I have some weird dreams. It's great. I have some really weird dreams. So like I make sure that I read before bed to take my mind off set, and take my mind off work. So hobbies, that is a huge, huge thing. Making sure that you just do, I would say 1 hour a day. And if you can't do 1 hour a day, think about like doing a half hour a day. Like just take 10 minutes of like when you like, for example, like playing piano, like I haven't practiced in a long time, but when I was like really like trying to make sure I was disciplined enough to like go and do something, because I like playing piano. I like it. So like the fact that I haven't done it is kind of like, oh damn it. Like it's finding the time to do it because you're so tired. You're like, I have to do this thing. Do it for 10 minutes. And then you're like, oh, this is why I do this. It's like a reminder of like, oh yes, this is why I do this, is I enjoy it. And you're like, you go back to, yes, this is doing things that you enjoy is a huge thing, because we're stressed so much on set. You have to remember to do the things that you love to do. And it could be anything. Like I said, reading, writing, instruments, playing video games, anything. What I don't want you to do is veg out and watch TV all day. There's something about that isn't as satisfying for your body and your brain for some people. Some people are like, they swear by it. That's how they relax. More power to you. But I implore you, please, do something else besides just, sitting on your couch and watching Netflix, please. When you don't do things you love, you get miserable every day very fast. And that is so, so true. Because when your hobbies are a part of you, and doing the things you love are a part of you. And because of film, our life is on set. So when you go home, you feel like you have no life. And that's the thing you want to avoid, feeling like you have no life, right? That you're just giving your whole life to filmmaking. Because you're like, you're on set, you're going to sleep. You're back on set, you go to sleep. You're back on set, you go to sleep. You know what I mean? So it's like this whole like just sleep and work. You do not want to fall into this trap. And just finding like those 20 minutes or those 10 minutes or that hour that you can just do something that you like to do for yourself makes you feel like a whole person. Makes you feel a little less miserable because you're like, yeah, I have film, and that's not your entire life. And that's the thing. Many people on set are gonna say like, oh, I have no life. I'm like, because you're choosing not to have no life, and I don't know why that is. It's like you can do other things because you control your life. Don't let set control your life. You have to make the hard decisions and like the mindful decisions of like, yes, instead of this, I'm going to do this, and it's very, very hard. And I know this is not a very like. It's not something that's easy. I know that. It's not easy. It's crazy. It's not easy at all. So, oh boy. The other stressors, being yourself. If you're not yourself on set, what did I tell you earlier about like you are going to have this internal battle of like trying to mask who you are. Listen, no one has enough time or effort, mental capacity to try and be someone else on set. Because people are going to find out who you are. So you might as well just be who the hell you are. Okay? If you are a little bit more aggressive, if you're a little bit more, happy or poppy, whatever, peppy, whatever personality you have, do not try and be someone who you're not. Like, for example, like there are people who will like, okay, here's the thing. People are like hella friendly and they're like, that's probably like the wrong way of going about it. Like, I'm friendly, but like I'm also very awkward and introverted as well on set because like I have people who see me on set and they know me from beyond film school, and this happened to me the other day and they're like, Amber, do you have a YouTube channel? And then I'm like, yes, that is me. I am her. This is who I am. And they start thanking me and like, oh my God, they start fangirling out a little bit, and it's like very flattering. But also, I don't know what to say besides thank you so much. It is very sweet. I am so happy that I can help you. And then they continue to fangirl out, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm very awkward. I'm not as social as someone might think. I can be very, very awkward, and I'm like, oh my God. But I'm also not going to fake who I am. Because that's not what you signed up for when you meet me. You don't want me to be someone I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I can be very quiet sometimes. I try to make jokes. I try to be funny. Like, that's my personality. I love making my day fun. Like, I use my humor to my advantage. That's who I am. Some people are sarcastic. So, and that's how they do their day, and that's how they get through their day. By all means, as long as you are who you are, I'm fine with it. Don't try and play me and be someone who you're not, because I can see right through that. But also, what I think with PAs, especially, because the younger folks are usually in the PA position, like we're talking like 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm sorry. If anyone is that young, please take no offense. I'm a little bit older than that. I won't tell you how old I am exactly, but I remember what it was like to be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 even. You sometimes don't know exactly who you are yet, and that's fine. But when you're working on set, you will find out who you are, and it is growing pains, okay? It is like you will find out who you are. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. You find out who you are, and I am a perfect example of that because when I first started on set, I had a real bad attitude. I had a lot of anger issues. But also I was undiagnosed celiac, which is actually, there's so many symptoms when you are celiac and you're not gluten-free. Like, it affects your whole body. It affects your moods, how you are, like, and I was like, wow, that's why maybe I was such a bad kid. I can blame my celiac disease that I was undiagnosed for like so long, so many years. So thinking about like when I first started having such a bad attitude and having like wow, no one likes me. I don't think no one likes me. I think that like I'm not really gonna make it in this business. No one really relates to who I am. No one's giving me attention. Am I too quiet? Am I too introverted? Like all the things I talk about on all the videos I talk about have been like a problem I've overcome or seen in my life, right? So like I think about all these things, and if I'm too introverted and I'm not talking enough, like I know I have to practice like those things. And I think being on set really helped me find out who I want to be, who I don't want to be, and like who I am. So I think we have to keep all that stuff in mind. Like you have to be who you are because it's too much work being someone else. Honestly, you gotta live your life. Now we're gonna talk about exercise. We're gonna talk about it. We gotta talk about exercise. Tell me in the comments if you exercise. Please, I want to hear from you. please tell me in the comments if you exercise. This is a big thing that you can control. When you're on set, you're going to put your body through a lot of stuff. You're going to be tired. You're going to be standing. You're on your feet. You're going to do those 30,000 steps. Yesterday, I think I did like 200 stairs or some crazy shit like that. So please tell me if you exercise. It is very important. Now, I'm not talking like you got to go to the gym for an hour every day. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like very basic stuff. I'm talking about like in the morning, waking up, doing like a few movements, you know, like nothing crazy. Like maybe it's like light yoga or like stretching. Take 10 minutes. Literally all you need is 10 minutes every day. You got to stretch. You must. Like the bare minimum is you have to stretch. I'm talking like touching your toes, doing like this, you know, like these things, you know what I mean? Like I should probably do a video about exercise you should be doing, you know, like you should be doing to get through your day. Because like, listen, if you just exercise 10 to 15 minutes a day, every day, at the end of a very long work week, you will feel less like a fucking truck hit you, okay? And I have definitely been through those days, and I have been through this, and I started implementing, making sure I do 10 minutes in the morning every day. Because, like, first of all, standing all day, and if your core is not strong enough, you have lower back, like, I have lower back problems, and I know it's probably because my core strength is not up to par. But now, like, I'm working 30,000 steps sounds like, I mean, okay, yes, okay, here's the thing. Rachel, you are right. 30,000 steps is exercise. And it does sound weird that I'm saying you have to exercise, right? But like 30,000 steps is the same movement day in, day out. So that's not, I mean, it's exercise, but it's not. Like when I'm on set and I'm doing those 30,000 steps and I'm doing those stairs and I'm like running around, I'm not out of breath. I'm not out of breath because I exercise on my off time. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting through like just the motions of the day, basically. Also, I mean, you could be, if you're just sitting on set all day, like if you're a producer, or you're a director, or you're a script supervisor where you might be sitting at a monitor all day, like my exercise for you would be like, you definitely need to move. You definitely need to do, I would say, a half hour a day. If you're not moving like 30, like I say, the 10 minutes every day before your job is like prepping your body for the stress you're going to put it through. If that makes sense. Like, it's like your warm-up. You're getting your body ready for the stuff you're about to do. And also, I try and stretch a little bit before bed as well. Because, like, man, I'm hurting. Like, my bones are aching. Okay, my joints and stuff, and especially having celiac, like, I knew I had way more inflammation than I did. And this also helping your body feel a little bit better. Drinking water before you go to bed helps your joints, helps your body, like, recoup from the day as well. So just keeping that in mind. Mid to late 20s, you really start to realize how important stretching is. Yo, that's legit. And maybe, I don't know, like, I put so much importance into, like, exercise because I was an athlete in high school and in college, and, like, if we didn't stretch, if I didn't do the basic stuff before, like, we started to, like, really go in our practices and our workouts and stuff, I was done. I was like, no, and we always stretch after. Like, when you're putting your body through, and that's what I think about set. Like, if I'm looking at set as, like, the practice or the workout for the day, after and before, if you stretch, like, that just makes sense. It just makes sense. You gotta stretch. And, like, I'm talking, like, touching your toes, doing some, like, you know, your back, stretching your back is super, super important. Your back is, like, I'm sorry, if my back is hurting, I can deal with leg pain, arm pain, and, like, if my abs are sore or something, but if my back hurts, I can't function. I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but I can't function when my back is hurting. And I've had, like, a lot of lower back pain recently, and I was like, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this shit. So I went to physical therapy for a hot minute, and it's basically all the research I've done is, like, the reason why people's lower back hurt is because, you know, your hamstrings are pulling, your muscles are pulling on certain muscles that shouldn't be strained, and then, like, your core strength is not there, right? You're not using your core when you're using your back. You should be using your back or whatever, right? So I'm gonna tell you what I do. Okay, so I start out doing 30 push-ups and doing, like, a light dance workout in the morning, couple minutes, like 5-6 minutes of that. I do like jumping jacks. I do a little cardio. I get my body in weird range of motions so I can feel certain stretches and shit. And it's like, this is very weird. It's like very revealing. Welcome to Beyond Film School. So like, I do a lot of movement in the morning so I can feel like certain stretches happening, and where like I know where the pain or like the soreness might be, because like you're sore when you wake up from these like really tough days. You're sore in the morning, so you have to like stretch it out. I can feel I haven't done anything yet because I woke up so late and I jumped on this live stream, so I haven't like done my stretches, so I can feel like my bicep muscles and stuff. But what I do now, to like really help my core strength this year, is starting from January 1st this year, 2022, I implemented doing 100 push-ups a day. And people are like, how the fuck are you doing 100 push-ups a day? Now, okay, I am, by any means, I am not like a person who's like trying to do crazy exercises and whatever. I'm not like super strong, but I can hold my own. Okay, I can hold my own, right? Okay. But like I was able to do 10 push-ups at a time, and I would do 30 push-ups. I would do 3 sets of 10 all of last year in the morning, and that really helped me during the day. I was like, it's not feeling like enough, so I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day. And my one friend, Ileana, she was like, how the hell are you doing that? And I was like, all you got to do is do 10 sets of 10. If you can do 10 push-ups, you can do 10 sets of push-ups. Now, you're not doing it all in the morning. I do it throughout the day. I do 100 during the day, no matter what. There is no fail, 100%, even on set days. There was a day where I did a set day. I did 70 up until I fell asleep at like midnight or something. I did 70 in the morning, did a set day, fell asleep. Woke up at 3 in the morning, and I was like, oh shit, because I fell asleep on my couch, woke up 3 in the morning, my husband is still up, and then I did the last 30 that I needed to do before I went to bed, because I was like, I have to do 100, like, so far I've done, today is the 13th, so I've done 4,200 push-ups this year already. I've done 4,200 push-ups this year already, and it's February, so I'm planning to do 100 push-ups every day till the end of the year. And who knows what, I mean, it's really weird because I started out with 10 sets of push-ups, 10 sets of 10 every day. And you can do this over 12 hours, 20, you can do it fucking during commercials. I would do them like if I'm home and I'm like doing Beyond Film School stuff, I would do them like every time I go to the kitchen or some shit like that. So I would do my 10 push-ups. And then, so this month though, I've upped it. So I was doing like, 5 sets of 20, because I was like, I realized I can do more than 10, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna up my count. So like I was doing like 10 sets of 10, then I moved to 5 sets of 20. Now I'm at 4 sets of 25, which I have to keep challenging myself because your muscles are going to get used to whatever, so you have to keep challenging yourself. So I'm making the increments a little bit longer, but I'm still doing 100. But what I also have implemented for the month of February is I'm doing 100 squats as well. And I have done 1,200 squats already this month, and I did so many stairs yesterday, and my muscles, my quad muscles, not even phased. I was like, holy shit. And I'm usually doing that many stairs because I had dressing rooms on 2 floors, so I had to constantly keep going upstairs, and these are like some serious fucking stairs. And my muscles were like, oh, this is cake. And I was like, oh shit, like these 100 squats a day have helped. And I do 5 sets of 20 for the squats. So like, and I do them all throughout the day. And I just got to do them. I'm just like committed. I got to do it. So I just got to dedicate 10 minutes. Now, if I were to do all those together, it'd be like, oh God, I'd be like dead. But like, that's why I span it out throughout the day. So it's exercising every day. It won't be that hard. It's like, you got to break it up into little increments if you can't. Zoe, let's a little off topic. Hanging out with friends is a big de-stressor for me. Are you able to see your friends ever if you're on set all day and tired of your rest days? Okay. I love this because this falls into like what you can do and doing what you love, right? So yes, I visit my friends. I will make dates. I will make sure I see them like on the weekend. But here's the thing is that this is why we fall into the trap of getting rest. Like if you're tired, and I get that. Some people are like, okay, I need a weekend to myself. I need to just unwind, just kind of like have nothing planned. Because even when you're planning to see your friends, it's still stressful. Like making sure that like maybe you get together after set, maybe you have a shorter day, you know, like those last minute, like, hey, I got wrapped early, you know, we had a short day, we had an easy day, let's go meet for drinks, blah 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 blah. Sometimes what's really great, Zoe, is that like your friends are on set with you. So that really helps too, knowing that like they might be close by. Zoe, where are you from? I don't know if you said where you're from, I'm not sure. I can't wait, I gotta see like in the comments, so let me see. Someone's from Philippines. I remember that. Wait, Zoe, are you from the Philippines? Okay, I have to look through. I think Angelica was from, Angelica was from the Philippines. Yes. So when you're thinking about like your friends are your de-stressor, so I have film friends and I have friends who are outside of, the business, and I try to make a point to hang with them at least once a month. Like I plan that out. And the thing is, I guess I'm way more, if I'm like, oh, I don't really want to, I do get those days where I want to do absolutely nothing, but those days don't come as much, thankfully. Okay, so you're Sacramento. Okay, Sacramento, California, great. So, like, you have to plan those things out, unfortunately, and I don't know, like, what do you find just tough, that you're you're tired on the days off, right? You're tired. I think that what gets me out of my house when I'm tired and like I want to meet with my friends is the fact that I know that I'm gonna feel rejuvenated afterwards. You know, it's kind of like that, but I don't want to go to the gym, but like you go to the gym, you feel better. It's kind of like, you know, that like you love being with your friends. So after you do, you know, you got your sleep, maybe you slept in, you're like, okay, I'm supposed to meet them at 4 or whatever on a Sunday. It's like going for brunch. Like I make a point to make brunch dates. I make a point to make like drink dates with my friends. Like we go out and we do different things to make sure that I'm keeping that connection with them, but also like not totally just vegging out and being like, oh, I'm just so tired, I can't go. I think that just takes discipline as well. So that, I mean, I hate going back to the same point, Zoe, and I hope this helps, but like the discipline that you have, like mindfulness and like discipline, like, yeah, like I know I'm going to feel better when I see my friends. Cause like sometimes they can just energize you, you know? But what I will also say about this, Zoe, is, making sure you don't take too much work where you don't literally have any time. Making sure that like you have time in between, or if you know you're spent and you're like, I can't, like, a really good thing I was talking to one of my helpers with the other day. She's like, yeah, I'm not trying to take a lot of work. You know, I just want to make enough to make my bills, make my rent, and then have the rest of the month off. I'm like, that's amazing. I love that for you. And if anyone else can do that, that's amazing. You work enough to make your bills, you make your rent, and then the rest of the time is spent like doing side projects, maybe your indie projects, maybe like, you know, you are taking time for yourself. I think that's super, super important. So, yes, but I do see my friends. I make an effort, but also when I know there's opportunity where like I might wrap early or where I might have a random day off or whatever. So like it's just knowing your schedule and knowing how like last minute can your friends join you for certain things. Oh, so Zoe, I feel like you're saying that like I feel like you're a fellow introvert. I feel this because definitely like I don't want to be with my friends either sometimes. I just want to just chill by myself. Yeah, that's like I think that there's a weird balance. It's like you want to be alone, but you want to see your friends. It's very, very hard. It's like you have to decide like which is going to benefit you more. Like, do you want to see your friends or do you want to be alone? Or like, or maybe you could just do like a Zoom call with them too. Cause sometimes my friends, we can't physically get together, you know, like, I have a friend like that's in deep Jersey and I have everyone else I know is like in Brooklyn and I'm in New Jersey. We can't, and I have a friend in Minneapolis. So like our core of friends, like we get on a Zoom call with each other and just kind of having that like hour or hour and a half where it's like, you can kind of, because like commuting to go see someone takes more time, right? And going out and doing it takes a little bit more. But if you get like a Zoom meeting together, it's like that is a way to kind of like, it's not as stressful, you know, getting to see like, you know, you're planning things. So I think that Zoom calls with your friends is super important. I think that's like a super useful tool for you to kind of like, you know, figure out that whole like, I feel like there's like a conflict in you where it's like, I want to see my friends, but I also want to be alone, but I don't have enough time. What do I do? Time management and like Zoom calls are going to save you on this one, I think. So yeah. stretching. I think managing the things inside your control, it just takes discipline. Sorry, I have notes, guys. I like wrote this out. I wanted to make sure I was planned. And we're at like 2 hours in this live stream. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining me. Plus, if you have any, I'm wrapping things up about film stressors and stuff. So I'm wrapping this topic up. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I definitely will take anyone's questions about anything film related. I just want to put it out there. Yeah, please feel free to put it in there if you are wondering anything. So, managing the film stress. And it's one thing, guys. It's one thing. It's all about your mindset. And I hate saying that it's like your brain. You cannot control the actions of others. Know that. Once you start to realize that you cannot control the world around you, the people around you, the things that are happening around, like there are some things that you might be able to be like, oh yeah, maybe I can, tweak this or that. But like in the grand scheme of things, you can't control everything around you. You can't control how people treat you. You can't control what people do. Once you have that realization, be on set and you're angry about something or frustrated about something, and you're like, wait a minute, well, I can't really do anything about that. Knowing the things you can and cannot control is the first step to getting away from your stress. 100%. Like that is the first step. Just knowing what you can and cannot control. You 100% can control what you do. You can control how you react as well. So for example, let's talk about when people are assholes, right? How the hell is that your fault that person's an asshole? It's not. But how you react to that person and what they do to get out of you is also your control. So like if you are dealing with someone who is very difficult, they are rude to you, maybe they might be short with you, they might be yelling at you. First of all, no. 9 out of 10 times, it is not about you. They are dealing with other shit. They are dealing with other stresses. They have not managed their stress very well. They're angry. They might have a personal problem going on. They may be dehydrated. They may be hungry. There are a number of different things that are going on with them to have them treat you like that. So know that it's not you. So first of all, that's that whole don't take a personal thing, because it's not about you. We live in a very, humans are very self-centered, and we always like, oh, what is it that I did that made you so upset? Nothing. They were just reacting to something else. They were like stressed about X, Y, and Z before they even got to you. And then you got the tail end of that. So like 90% of like what made them that way is not even your fault. You may have walked into the trailer at the wrong time and asked the question. It's just dumb things that you might have been like, oh wait, it wasn't that major. It was probably really, really small. Right? So know that, first of all, you can't control. Knowing what you can and can control is like half the battle. The next thing is know that it's not about you. The reason why someone might be rude to you or they might be stressed out or whatever, it's not even because of you. Don't take that shit personally. Now, dealing with people who are angry and narcissists and whatever, and when people throw insults at you, which does happen on set, I will not lie, you'll have arguments with people. They want the reaction out of you. They want the energy from you. They want to suck the energy out. They want to get that emotion from you. They want to get the transference of energy. As long as they get the rise out of you, they have achieved their goal. Now, if they say some crazy ass shit to you and they're like, their whole thing is to get you mad, and you don't, and then you're just like, what? You're just like, what are you talking? You don't let it get to you. You don't react, and you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. You're calm as shit and they're still going. It's like they're using all their energy. You're not using any of yours, and you're not giving them any of yours. So thinking about how you react to certain people who are trying to get the rise out of you is another factor. Knowing that you can control how you react, you can. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to fight. But I know some people, like myself, I gotta defend myself. I gotta say some shit. But also some people who might have some hurt egos. They're gonna lash out. They're gonna respond because they feel offended because you're coming at their life for something that they said. Whatever. Now, it's all about how you react. If you don't react with what they want you to react with, then it's they have no power over you. because they want you to get angry. They want to piss you off. They want you to argue with them. If you don't do it, they'll stop coming to you for that reaction. They'll stop doing it, you know? So, but there's also a point of like, and so there's some people who might be bullies or something where you have to actually be like, not really sure why you're saying what you're saying, but I'm not doing this with you. You say that shit, they're like, they can't like literally compute that type of stuff. When people who are like, what? Like they, and then they'll get mad. And as long as you can let them get mad, as long as you're not going to get mad and angry and frustrated and like, you know, infuriated or annoyed or something like that, don't let it get to you. You have to master the art of not caring about, you know, those types of people or what those types of people have to say to you. So that is that is like really, it's honestly like, it's all a mind game with yourself. Now, another thing is like when people are like really working you hard, they're grinding on you, they're like really working you, and you're like, okay, I'm about to cry. Like I have been there. I'm like, I'm too stressed out. I'm about to cry right now. I'm about to burst. You know, like I read this book called Existential Kink, and it's about like the habits you keep putting yourself in to continue to be in this abusive, like, rotating door, right? Where you're attracted to certain people or certain situations that make you feel a certain way, right? And I am very much attracted to a challenge. Like, that's why I work in film. I love the challenge. I love confrontation. Like, people want to fight with me, I'm ready. Like, let's go. But then also, I get stressed out from those types of situations. And you have to tell yourself is that, like, you love that stuff. You love being on set. You love being stressed. You love fighting with people. As soon as you realize, like, those weird subconscious things that are happening in your mind where you're, like, you keep getting to the same weird situation, it's like, I would have a moment where I'd be very angry with my boss. I wouldn't show it, but I'd be very angry. I would go to the trailer to use the bathroom. I'd go to the bathroom. I'd be in the mirror, and I'd be like, you love that he's making you angry right now. You love that they're making you angry, that they're making you frustrated. And then I'm like, I was over it. Like, knowing what makes you angry, like, being aware of the emotions and paying attention to how someone is making you feel is, like, another thing. Like, some people are like, the default is, I'm angry. Well, why are you angry? You know, think about why that person is making you angry, because then, like, you're getting to the root of the problem. Well, I'm angry because that person insulted me, which insulted my work ethic, and I think I am a hard worker, and they think that I'm lazy, which I am not lazy. Like thinking down the line of, like, the train of thought, like, why are you frustrated? Why are you irritated? Why are you annoyed? Whereas, like, you might be irritated, annoyed, and people automatically think that's anger, where it's not. Where there's, like, a full range of emotions that are making you feel some type of way, right? Knowing, acknowledging, and, like, the feelings that you're getting from how people are treating you or how people are talking to you. And it also can be on the other end, like, when people are making you happy. Well, why is that person making you happy? When you realize why that person is making you happy, you've learned something about yourself, and then you can do more of that. It's like being more mindful of the emotions that you're feeling throughout the day has really, like, helped me. Like, for example, it happened to me yesterday where I was feeling overwhelmed. There were a lot of moving parts. The makeup trailer was across the stage. I was on the opposite end. I had 2 actors downstairs. I had 2 actors upstairs. The stage was in the middle of the goddamn building. It was like too many moving parts. I was just getting to know my helper because she was new. And I felt like, oh my God, what the hell was going on? Like, I felt a little out of control for a minute. I had to, like, really just stop and think. I'm like, okay, why do I feel out of control? Oh, it's because maybe she's not communicating enough with me, or she's got it, or maybe I think I don't trust her. Or like, you really have to think about why you're feeling a certain way on set. Like, honestly, this is like the mindfulness that you need to have on set. Like, you have to pay attention. You can't just go on autopilot. And I started this live stream talking about being on autopilot. You cannot go on autopilot and just be, like, going through the motions and let people treat you and, like, feel it. Like, you gotta, like, really think about what you're doing, what you're feeling, paying attention to all that stuff. It all counts. Like, seriously, knowing the things that set you off and just taking a moment not to react is, like, it's zen. It's amazing. Like, if I feel, like, I remember, like, there was a PA that I had on my other job, and she started to, like, lash out at me, because I was her key PA, and she was, like, very, very new. She's very, very young, and she was, like, upset with me, and I was like, I just sat there and I like took it and I was like, okay. Well, I was about to say some stuff and I was like, okay, let me not say anything right now because I don't want to yell at this girl. I do not want to yell at her because I don't want to make people feel that way. Walked away for a second and I walked back and I was like, what you said right now is making me feel some type of way. I'm not going to react to this, but we'll discuss it later. But also, like, I didn't react. Like, I think she wanted me to react because she was looking for an argument and I wasn't about to give it to her. So from then on, it didn't proceed. That relationship didn't proceed that way. So, like, when you have to really, like, stop yourself from the impulse reaction and just think about why you're feeling the way you're feeling, dissect it a little bit, and then, like, go from there. Or some people, like, when you write those impulse emails or, like, someone wrote you something that you don't like, thinking about that, that is just, like, just taking a moment. Don't react right away. That'll be like most of the, like, there's so many things that count for a lot, you know, knowing what you can and cannot control, knowing that it's not about you, that these people have other problems, like all the stressors, you know, and just taking it all with a grain of salt and just know that you are yourself and you're doing the best that you can. As long as you know that you are trying to do your best, people will see that. And as long as you know that, like, you just have some strength within yourself to be like, you know what, I don't give a fuck about anybody else on this set. They can say what they want. I'm doing my job. I'm not disrespectful to anybody. Like, people are going to see that. Because I think that's the thing. I had a PA the other day, like, walk up to me, like, real rude. And I was like, I don't know who the hell you think you are. But I was like, okay. Because, like, he was really trying to, like, look for a fight. And I was like, get away from me. But now he knows not to approach me. So it's all about, like, kind of like, no, I'm not going to play this game with you. And some people want to play the game with you. And you're like, nope, not going to do it today. Not going to do it today. I'm, like, running out of liquids here. And, like, my throat is hurting. I'm doing it for 2 hours. I cannot believe. So I know that all the things that I'm suggesting about managing your stress, why things are stressful, they feel like very common things. They feel like very, very small things. And, I mean, tell me in the comments if you think that these are some very simple things that, like, maybe you didn't think about, or maybe that, you know, just seem like, oh, I didn't realize that maybe that small thing would make that type of reaction. I don't know. Tell me what you think about all these things that are, like, help you manage your stress. I didn't even talk about sleep that much, but, like, sleep is a huge factor in all of this. Because when you have enough sleep, things are just better for you. Your brain works better. You're more patient. You know, you have the brain capacity to kind of really evaluate situations that you might be stuck in that are tough. So, like, thinking about all that stuff and making sure that you have a good day and you're doing your best, it all is based on basically sleep, water, and your diet. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, you have to really think about those top 3 things and doing something that you love to do, you know? So it's like those things, the foundation is water, diet, and sleep, unfortunately. Like, basic human things, of course, basic human things. So people are like, Amber, this is a waste of a live stream. You told me, like, I don't have, like, a secret thing, but I'm here to, like, make sure that you're thinking about the things that maybe you're forgetting. You might be forgetting, like, oh yeah, that's right, I don't drink enough water. I drank 1 thing of water yesterday or something like that. I'm actually running out of water myself. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I will wait for a few seconds in case anyone wants to put a question in there before I end this live stream. I've been doing this since, oh my God, I cannot believe 2 hours. Now, normally, my live streams by myself are like half an hour. This is amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, people who were, like, here commenting. Rachel, Zoe, had Andrew on for a little while. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, Robert, I want to thank you, Robert, Greg, Starbright, where he's talking about, like, fried chicken and fried shrimp. You gotta stay away from the fried foods. Fried foods, the more you eat fried foods, the more you want fried foods. So the less you eat fried foods, the less you'll want fried foods. Just putting that out there. So yeah, thank you so much, Rachel, Greg, Zoe. Shout out to Robert, Gary, Saeed. I think Saeed. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for commenting. Why, Rachel? Why are so many trying to fight you? I guess I mean, it happens though, but people, I mean, but that's what that might be my perception, right? Where I'm like always thinking someone's like trying to come for my life or something, right? I have no idea. This is true, Rachel. Like, I don't know, but some people might be looking for a fight. Some people are having a bad day. They want to do it. But most of the time, but those are the negatives, right? But most of the time, it's like everyone's really nice and polite. And like, we're all trying to have a good day. You know, I'm talking about like just the times where like it's shitty. I'm bringing up all those shitty times where it seems like, man, wow, she's gotta have like a lot of challenging days coming her way or whatever. But no, like it's just, I'm talking about the negatives, but like most of the time, like 90% of the time on set, it's fine. But like this, it can be stressful, but like most people are polite and patient and like ready to go. But like you're gonna reach those days where like we're all on like, we're at the end of an episode or the end of the week where like everyone's a little bit more tired, a little bit more like less, you know, at 100, and where they're a little bit more impatient. And that's where like people's tempers start to go like this, where like they get shorter and shorter. They have like a shorter fuse. So like it does happen by like we might be on an overnight. People are cold. People are cranky. You know, like all types of things make people a little less themselves is all I'm trying to say. Thank you so much, Zoe. Okay, I am going to wrap it up. I will wait a few more seconds because I know that this, for some reason, comes up a little bit faster than like my other chat. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I am going to wrap it up now. If no one's going to comment, I'm going to end here. Thank you so much. I got to get to editing because I owe a video that I have not done yet for Wednesday. And Wednesday's video is going to be about film mentors. So, wrap it up. Thank you so